rated session, just warning everybody, this guy goes unfiltered. Oh yeah.
How big of a fan are you for that?
Okay, so we're recording. We're recording. So we're recording. It's class number 6 negotiations. We've got our rock stars here, Emilio and Matt, to do our things on negotiations. As I said earlier, off camera, you know, we are unfiltered today. So this is about real experiences, real conversations. So don't be offended if you feel like, hey man, I'm missing the boat on some things. It is about learning. It's about growing. It's about getting better, basically. Because we want you guys to be the best in the business. And this guy's going to help you. These guys are going to help you do that. They've given you a bunch of books here to be rewarded with. And I will turn it over to our friend Emilio.
Thank you, Mikey.
Mikey, yeah.
Okay, Mike. Guys, my name is Emilio Espinoza. Let me just set the platform for today. So the platform, some of you know me, the platform for today is ask questions. Don't be shy, don't hold back the questions. It's an open platform for you to ask questions. We're gonna try to teach you some concepts that you can use. I know there's some people here like OC, who we've obviously done this before, but like the more you do this, the more you get to apply the concepts. And it doesn't get old, you gotta keep continuously practicing. This is the part where I'm supposed to tell you all the accolades and all this other stuff and what we've done. Honestly, I don't care. Accolades to me don't mean anything. The reason being is it's just self-glorification. I will tell you when I retire what I've done. I can tell you this much though, 20 years experience, continuously investing in my learning, continuously trying to get better at my craft, and continuously trying to do things like this to give back to you. If you're wondering why we do this, the reason we do this, or I like to do this, is because if I can share some knowledge with you, something that I've invested over the years, and you can get better, learn something, and apply it to your business, and then I run into you and we end up negotiating with each other, it's going to be a good time, it's going to be a fun time, and we're going to put together a deal. So I'm trying to help you better, do better for yourself and better for your business.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And personally, thank him. He's not just a realtor here; he's a friend, and a lot of you are my friends as you get to know me. I'm not a traditional manager broker. Like once we get a relationship, Thomas has sat with me a few times. We, first conversation, an hour later, we realized we're not even talking real estate. Right? We're talking history and culture and stuff. But I thank him for taking his time. He doesn't get paid for this. This is his giving back to our industry, giving back to you as his peers in the brokerage. But I always resonate with one of the stories he'd always told, and I don't know if you're going to tell it, but maybe I'll pry it out of you right now. Tell everybody what you did in your first year, because this will really, for a guy like him that we all look up to, admire, respect, and I love what he said. It's not the award and the plaque, because that was never my motivation either. I wanted to be number one only with my clients. I didn't care about the plaque. Honestly, that was my motivation. Tell them what you did in your first year.
$750 on a lease.
Not 750,000.
That's what hold on here. Just so you understand, $750. It was a $1,700. Actually, we were just talking about it. It was $1,700 lease. So the call came in. Agent comes to me and says, "Hey, young guy, yeah, busy? No. You want a lease? You don't want it?" He goes, "I don't do leases." Sure. So it was my first, I was like eager, man. Like this is like my first client.
Yeah.
So I worked it like it was a buyer. $1,700. And then I'm like, and I asked the guy, I'm like, "Why don't you work?" He's like, "There's no money in lease." Okay. Found him a lease on WebDrive.
Yeah.
And that guy ended up being one of the best clients I had. He referred me like 10, 12 people in his circle.
Very nice.
And then he bought. So he was renting for a while and refer me. So when people say like, "Oh, if you're, you got a client who's looking for $1 million, oh, let's treat them good." Or you got a seller, oh, they're $2 million, treat them good. You treat everybody good. Every client is $1 million client. treat them as such. Everybody is priceless because you don't know who they know. And again, like even now, I'm working with a couple of clients, like young clients, and the guy works at a corporate company. He's like, hey man, I got other people that feel like I do. Do you mind if I share them your number and maybe we can do this as a group? Absolutely. Right? I'm not just because he's 25 or 22 or whatever age, I don't discredit him or her because you just don't know. Your job is to, again, you'll see this, is educate. And one of the things I guess, with this market and what you guys are probably, listening to Phil Jones. Phil Jones was a book that we were actually offering when we've done this a few years ago.
Yes.
So that book we were offering like a while back. Why? Because what you say, how you say it, is powerful. And using those words, it's not that it's not a gimmick or it's not like an answer. Like what it is it allows you time to get, to put your thoughts in perspective and then get some more intel. Okay. Actually, maybe what we'll do, speaking of intel, let me just show you a quick video, then we'll get a little bit more started, but I want to just maybe show you the spy game one.
Okay.
Let's show that video quickly, and then we'll get into the more of the process in a second.
Before you do that, so just, if you feel ashamed of what you do, right, and what you're doing, don't. There's a guy that does 7 and I was slow at the gate too. Like I wasn't the 10 deals my first year on the board. I built a business, right? Don't get frustrated by maybe the results aren't coming as quickly as you expect them. We live in a fast food world environment, right? Like if I want to get food right now, I can get in my car, go up to a fast food restaurant in 5 minutes, get my food. We're conditioned now to that. This is not this type of business where we do not experience that. But here's the other thing too. When you do complete a sale, so you're working on your first deal today, right? She's getting her first one together.
Nice.
And so today, let's say everything works out, you're conditional for 5 days. 5 days from now, you're firm. That's success, right? Now you wait for 60 days to close, okay? You haven't got paid yet, but you were successful. Then it successfully closes, and it could take, 5 days, 10, 15, 20, 30 days to get paid. So what you're experiencing today, you're actually not getting the reward for 90, 120 days. And we're the only business that's like that. And so we have a disconnect in the effort reward kind of paradigm, right? And so I have you share that story because, as he built his business up, he's compounding all that work and effort so that, you go today and do something, it's 120 days later. Well, he did that 120 days ago. Somebody's closing today and he's selling something today. So you kind of get that dopamine hit every time you're doing it, right? And that's where you want to get off this roller coaster, right? I don't know if everybody's ever described this. You're up, you're down. The best thing to do is just nice flat trajectory.
Like this. So get your obviously your highs and your lows. When you start out, you start getting deals done, you experience this.
Yeah.
You forget to prospect, then you're like,
100%.
oh, now you're here.
What happened?
And then you go here and constantly, so like what Mike says, at the beginning of your career, you're constantly doing this. What you want is this.
Yeah.
And and again, that's one of the reasons why I'm not really accolade driven, just because for me, I don't care what I did 1 year versus the other. It could change drastically. Consistency of my business is what I want. One more way to explain it to you, and we talked about this yesterday. One deal.
Yes. It's a great analogy here.
Right? Like say this client, his name is Mike Kelly, he's got a ton of cash. And he decides to buy a property with me. $20 million, pays 2.5%. What's the commission? I know you guys calculated. Come on, guys. What's the commission?
2.5 million.
500, right?
You said $20 million?
So $20 million, 500,000, 500,000.
2.5%.
Am I wrong or am I?
No, you're
You're
right.
right.
You're right. You're right.
You're right.
Oh, right. Sorry. What did I say?
Okay, this is my commission,
So I'm not rich.
clearly. And Mike's proven that you don't have to be the smartest guy to be successful. just so you guys know. So you got one deal at $20 million,
I can't even spell negotiate, by the way. I've done it wrong twice now.
or you got 20 clients
At $1 million.
at $1 million. 2.5, what's the commission? 500,000. Which one do you prefer?
In the short term, that one, but long term, for how
Which one do you prefer? Pick one. Why this one?
referrals from the people that.
Right. But everybody wants, what's happening now? Less persistence, less amount of work, maximum pay. Do we not see that in our generation, in this generation, right? And what happens is the new generation, that's what happens, no offense. And then what happens is it just to transcend to you and you start saying, well, whoa, wait a second. If they're doing less work and then I want to start doing this. But that's just one person. How many people is he gonna? Versus 20, this is, yes, you're making good money, right? You're earning a commission. You're building a business. Okay? So that's what we're trying
You
to
take it out to the rental side too, right?
Oh, even. And like I said, I've had clients that when I first met him, he was living in the basement of his grandmother's house. 21 years old. Met him, he was in no capacity to buy. It took him 2 years, 23, got him he bought something. Today, he's 38, living in a $1.6 million property in Kleinville. Because again, what happens to an industry, you get complacent, you're trying to, oh, I gotta close. You're constantly trying to, and that was the thing before, was always be closing, right? ABC, always be closing. Nah, that changed. You're not always be closing. There's a statistic that say that the doctors are spending an extra 5 minutes with the patient, have a better relationship and success without the patient than the ones that just try to just in and out, right? Don't do that. So let me just show you a quick video. We'll do the, yeah. Playing, not playing, no.
I'm running a quick test. Bear with me. I want to make sure you guys can hear this and the people at home. It might go wrong.
Or it could also go right, man.
It could also go right.
What if it goes right?
If it's too loud, turn it down. Okay. And no talking while this is playing, so there's no reverberation.
Technology gets better every day, and that's fine. But most of the time, all you need is a stick of gum, a pocket knife, and a smile. That's disappointing.
Guten Morgen, meine Herren. Today we're going to be discussing a radio set. Not just any radio set, but a Russian radio set.
Every building, every room, every situation, a snapshot. I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm also checking the room, memorizing the people, what they're wearing. Then I ask the question, what's wrong with this picture? Anything suspect? You gotta see it, assess it, and dismiss most of it without looking, without thinking. Without thinking. It's just like breathing. You breathe, don't you? Always carry cigarettes and a lighter, too. It's a great icebreaker. And a cafe, bitte. Swag.
Okay, I want you to listen, but I want your concentration to be on something different. Anything else so you don't react, understand?
Yes. So when do I get my first assignment? When I decide you're ready.
What is your name?
Michael Sando. The suit in the kitchen. Fred? Wait, how'd you see that? See that apartment building? Yeah. Know anyone who lives there? No. Within 5 minutes, I want to see you standing in one of those balconies. Come on.
Did you serve in Vietnam?
No, I did not.
Favorite color?
I would discuss it over coffee. Just lost 10 seconds. Solicited information from someone. Gladly. Guy reading the menu. Don't look at him.
He wasn't reading the menu.
Not reading at all. Fred?
Only to the hostess.
You just give her 4 pieces of personal information for one dubious, impersonal fact.
Just trying to find out where she got that dress. Where are you from? When's your birthday? Come on, you know everything about me. I don't know a thing about you.
Okay, what did you tell her? 1, you're straight. 2, you're engaged. 3, tomorrow's your girl's birthday. And 4, you have no taste in women's fashion. What if she were an asset? You told her 4 lies that now have to be true.
Okay.
How's this done?
What do you guys think?
I think people getting into it.
Pretty quick, right? Like obviously, what he's trying to do is preparing. He's practicing, right? And what did the guy say? Hey, listen, when you get out there, make sure you have a pack of cigarettes and lighter because there's what? Icebreaker. Right? When you're negotiating, when you're talking to a counterpart, when you're meeting somebody, when you're talking to a seller, what do you often need? Icebreaker. You guys have been obviously. He's shared with you dialogue. From the Floyd that he shared with you, what's an icebreaker? 2 words. Often a question. Let's see, when, like, well, an icebreaker could be I'll give you an example. At an open house, or you're in a lineup, trying to get into it. Because that's really what you're trying to do, always, trying to get into it. If you're in a coffee shop and you're trying to strike a conversation just to engage, one of the things could be, it's a nice, it's pretty crappy weather we're having, isn't it? Can you believe we're getting snow in March? No, what happened? You just strike the conversation. Same thing when you're negotiating. Same thing when you pick up the phone.
I'm gonna say something, but go ahead.
So what often
2 words,
happens?
you want 2 words? Give.
Oh, aren't they? Isn't it?
Right.
Are you looking on the left? The east side or the west side of here and there? Et cetera. Like those are the kind of the icebreakers that you want. And when you're doing that, like especially in our industries, that often when you want to negotiate, most people are reactive in this business. They're not responsive. You want to be responsive, not reactive. Okay, so what happens is that somebody wants to put an offer, or that your client wants to put an offer on a property, and the first thing you do is you start picking up the phone. That's preparation. That guy is like, when am I ready? When I tell you you're ready. Right? When are you going to be ready? Like, that's why I'd rather get my head kicked in with rentals. If you're asking me again, if I could do it all over again, where would I start? The same thing. This humbled me. It humbled me because I'm like, every client is important. This humbled me, and I got my head kicked in with this. And because I got my head kicked in with this, the rest of the business flourished. Right?
That's the real experience of the vast majority of realtors. I've been in it for 30 years, and I've been on a broker side of the business for 18. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. The excuses, the embellishments, BS. I've seen it all. That's as real as it gets. Most of you, when you get through those 5 years of your business and realize that some of these Instagram rock star realtors you're watching or Facebook one, that's not real. I know a lot of them because I've trained a lot of them that you see out there in the field. Some of them are still with us, some are not. Ones that are with us are not as let's call it out there, but the ones that have left the company that have their own little training companies, I trained them. I've trained tens of thousands of realtors. That's the real experience that most of you are going to have. That's the experience I had. And I love the word you used, humbled. I got humbled too, completely. Right? You get your teeth kicked in, whether you're a guy or a girl in this business, okay? Can I say one thing? That movie is a great movie for a lot of reasons. It's called Spy Game. If you've seen it, watch it again. If you've not, I highly recommend you watch it. It's called Spy Game. Of course, you saw it with Brad Pitt and Robert Patrick. Right. The 2 words / 3 words that was the key out of there for me was this. That's why I use your pen. See it?
Dismiss.
Assess it. And he said dismiss. In his world, you don't see it, assess it, you die. Like that's the extreme of that world, right? But in your world, I've talked to you many times, we have one mouth, 2 ears, 2 eyes. We don't use our eyes a lot. Remember I did the exercise, body language exercise with you guys? That's what this is about. You're watching, you're literally taking snapshots of your environment and assessing the environment and dismissing. Is it important for you? Because what's the opposite of the word dismiss? What's the opposite of dismiss? Accept. Because that's the other part of it, right? So if you're seeing something, assessing it, doesn't mean you have to dismiss it. You could be accepting that and going down that path with it. But if you're not open to it, if you don't have that radar on, remember we talked about the radar, the reticular activating system. I think you mentioned that. And you blew me away because I'd never had anybody actually in 15, 20 years of teaching say that word. That's Dr. Dennis Waitley stuff. You're open to it. You're seeing it, assessing it, and accepting or dismissing. But that was a great video, man. Loved it.
Thank you.
So, you guys, everybody got it, right? So one of the things I want to also explain as we get on to because we're gonna have some negotiations, some case studies, etc. One of the things I want to explain to you that the concept of negotiation, I mean, right now we have 3 hours to really, really go fully in depth. It's not, right now we're trying to condense it. We're trying to give you like the highlights. But to really, really like analyze and take in the concept of negotiations, it takes, you know, 2 or 3. Well, it's a lifetime of learning. But I remember the first time when I went to do the first course, and it was just a general like course at Harvard. That was a 3-day course plus a 4th day elective. And the next time I went, I did mediation and disputes, which is kind of like how to like diffuse or lessen the tension between 2 parties, right? Can that happen in our industry, right? Husband and wife.
Yeah.
So now to have that expertise to do that, and then and then I did a 3rd one, where again they teach you different concepts. So I want you to understand that I'm throwing a lot at you today, and it might be like a little bit scattered, not because I want to confuse you or anything like that. I'm trying to give you the highlights. I'm trying to give you some concepts that you can start applying now, save you the trip, and then maybe at a future time we can do something more in depth, etc. But just I want you guys to understand that before I move on. I know Mike said earlier that people were constantly negotiating, right? And constantly negotiating with, Mike, what did he say? Number one, himself. Who else are you constantly negotiating with? Clients? Kids. Okay?
There's no handouts.
And then the realtor?
Third parties as well, like families.
Sorry, we'll say 3rd party, brokerage.
I don't negotiate. Sorry.
What else? And what are you usually negotiating here? What are you negotiating? Price, right? That could be one thing you're negotiating, price. What's that? Services,
Favor. We negotiate the favor too.
conditions,
Timeline?
timeline. So one thing you gotta know about negotiation is you have concepts such as, okay, first of all, you have, what are the interests? What are my options? What are my alternatives? Nothing. Sorry, guys. I don't want you guys to think I have the Michael Kennelly syndrome.
Right negotiation.
Option, alternatives. You guys know what BATNA is?
Better to remove that chair outside, so.
Yeah, I know we did.
You guys know what BATNA is? Yes. Perfect. Which one do you want?
Come on up, pick one.
Come have a choice. You get the first choice.
We're gonna get It's yes.
Perfect. That's alternative to a negotiated agreement. In other words,
Who's the best manager?
Very
Don't pick one.
now I know it's changing. So the best alternative to a negotiated agreement is basically you're walking away from. Good to have. Okay,
The way out.
right. Well, not a way out. It's you're weighing one thing versus the other. It's not a way out. It's basically if I'll give you an example. If I'm buying a pair of Nikes and they cost me, I go to score one, cost me $150. Or I can drive to Markham and get them for $100. Well, now I gotta gauge my time, my gas, wear and tear. What's my walking away point? Well, if they maybe do the shoes for $75 instead of 100, maybe I will drive to Markham. It's what's your walking away point? What's something that you're willing to say, you know what, I'm okay walking away from this. Right? In our industry, often is with the CMA, right? Just because someone's asking for $1.5 million, is the house worth $1.5 million?
You know?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Right? Did the realtor do his homework? Perhaps. Who chose the price? Maybe the listing agent. Maybe that guy just wanted to get a listing, not a sale. So what happens? Let me give you a higher number. Right? What did the last realtor say? Your house is worth 1.6, 1.3. I think 1.6. Would you like to list with me now? Perfect. Let's put a house on the market. Who's again, is that a negotiation?
Yeah.
Another thing I want you to understand, anything you're going to learn here today, the difference, and I don't know if you mentioned this, is intent. The difference between a professional and a con man is intent.
Intent.
Okay, so negotiations could be positive, could be good, but it could also be negative. You got to be behind whatever the intent behind it is. So understand that. This is why you want to practice, because your counterpart might use certain things to leverage themselves over you. How many times have you had somebody say, take it or leave it? Right? This is my last offer. This is the highest my client's willing to go. If you don't take it, we're going to walk away, etc. So keep in mind that the difference is intent. So now that you know who you're negotiating with, what are some of the things you're negotiating with, and usually kids are the best because they're not looking for money, or maybe they are depending on their age. But typically, what are they negotiating with you? Time. Because that's all that's their interest, is spending time with you. Not how much you spend on them, how much time you spend with them. And that's why you gotta get to the, peel back the layers with your client and find out what's important to them. Because often what happens is when you engage in a negotiation, you're looking at, I have to win, right? So now who are you looking after? Whose interest? Yours, right? What I want to do, I want to get you guys involved because this is one of those, Matt's not here. So what we're going to do an exercise, and we're going to have a few exercises today. So what we're going to do is this, I'm going to put you guys in groups. And the reason I want to do this is I want to get you guys to A, wake up a little bit, B, get some of those negotiation juices going, because we do have a case study around lunchtime that I want you guys to do well at, and just get your, and get the juices flowing. So I think we have them over there, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to put you, do we have enough? I think, what are the numbers here? 4, 3, 4.
Matt could be the extra if there's a right? Yeah. You're doing 2, right?
Yeah, there's the 2s.
And Matt's got to do for the home audience too.
Okay, so let's do the Jeff and Kelly one. I'm gonna hand those out. So you can put the people at home.
Yep.
Put them in groups of 2s.
Groups of 2,
This is a Jeff and Kelly.
Jeff and Kelly. And how long are we giving them?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10 minutes. So what I want you guys is read what you guys have in front of you. You guys, I'm gonna go into groups. What we'll do is just do one as you go through. 1 and 1. No, but here, give me one. What we'll do is when I put you guys in groups of 2s.
Pick a partner.
So you take this one, you get that one, you get this one, you get this one. With this one, so there's another.
Okay, this
That
one.
one here.
So they can see me.
Here.
The people at home,
Okay.
I'm throwing you into breakout rooms. I'm just gonna do it alphabetically, so the two people groups as I go. When you hit your breakout room, feel free to chat. I'm gonna then email all of you the individual case study. So you're gonna get it to your email shortly.
So read the instructions carefully.
How many?
Those here. These two. So. You two. You two. You two. You want to see? Go ahead.
So this is the Kelly Jeff.
Based on the.
My question to you is how did
Oh,
the house is in the market?
wait, not yet, not yet. Wait,
Right?
not yet, wait.
Okay, all right, okay.
These are eager realtors. Awesome.
Good to do that.
Everybody at home got everything?
Sorry, I'm just, I gotta do this on the fly.
Okay, no worries. So guys, when you guys are preparing for this, remember we had options, alternatives, BATNA, interests, etc. That's what you want to use in this negotiation.
This is on the camera. That's for all the other ones.
For everybody, because everybody's gonna have the same, we can just, I'll put it here. Alternatives.
Everyone at home, I just emailed the emails that you used to register for the course with. Half of you got the Jeff, half of you got the Kelly. I got all the rooms to double check.
You made a mistake.
Alternation, right? It's
Yeah, it's alternatives.
Six, okay.
By the way, that happens in negotiations too, eh?
Well,
People try to pick what you're doing wrong rather than the
Yeah.
highlights of your offer.
Yeah.
So another thing you can learn from.
You know, the other thing they do too, it's the mirroring, right? Chameleon, you shouldn't do that either. I was just mirroring what he did to me earlier.
Here's one we didn't discuss, but want to understand is concessions. What are you willing to, part with?
Red line.
Anything best alternative to that now?
Best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Okay, guys, so let's give everybody, has everybody got it right, Matt?
I've got to check on that.
Actually, what we'll do is. You want to give it, read it quickly. If you're gonna negotiate, that's your priority. I don't know exactly.
10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, so read it quickly.
Don't push me over.
Almost everybody. How many got 600,000?
Wait, Emilio, just give him a second to leave the room.
Okay.
I did a 60-second timer,
Okay.
so. Seconds.
I'll send
Okay, so for those of you that are online, welcome back. We've obviously had a few agreements in the room. The group in the back, you got 600,000? All right, she did.
Nice.
How did you get to 600,000?
The advantages of the upgrades and the advantages of.
And you were, sorry, you were Kelly or Jack? Kelly.
Yeah, the advantages of, not having to do the upgrades and the work and the value of that and what that translates to when worked into your extra $20,000 or $30,000 in your mortgage over the course of 25 years, not being a terribly significant number, and we got there.
Did you get any pushback?
Some, yeah.
What was your initial offer? Or who made the offer first, actually?
She started at 550.
550, okay. And then how did you?
And she came to 580.
But okay, so she came in at 550.
Yeah.
And then how did you rebuttal that?
That wasn't even close.
So when you saw the 550, was she?
That they were too far apart, that the comparables sold at 580 and the comparable wasn't as well appointed as this particular property.
Okay.
Right?
Facts. And then, but did you when you saw, what I'm trying to get at is when she gave you the 550.
Yeah.
And you're at the 600.
Yeah.
Right? You start giving facts. Now, are you protecting your stance, or do you know how she got to 580 or 550? Sorry, if she gave you a proposal of 580, do you know where she got that from?
Not necessarily, no.
Would that have helped?
I did ask why her clients, sort of came to that point. And
Okay, and what did she say?
she talked a bit about the other houses in the neighborhood. And talked a little bit about the work that would have to be done on the house, which I rebutted with the fact that the work's already done. In this house.
But does this happen in our industry, yes or no? This scenario all the time, right? And and how often are you, when you're like almost trying to put this deal together, how often do you get to the point where like the only thing you're negotiating, the only thing left you're negotiating is price, yes or no? Right? And then often all you're trying to do now is you're trying to be competitive, right? Unless, and I'm saying that because that's usually what happens, unless you start asking questions. Hey, out of curiosity, that's an interesting number. And that's, I'll be honest with you, like this is stuff that actually, let me take that back. Because me being honest would imply that everything else is a lie. So be careful, choose your words. So let me tell you something. Often what I've done in negotiations, especially.
Your intent's in the right place, it's not a con.
Often, especially when I'm working outside of the GTA, because as you get outside of like Fergus, Wellington, local markets, they're almost like angry at you for coming in. When the market was hot and like active, what I would do is I would put an offer and then I would put a number such as, I'll give you an example. Let's say the house, they're listed it for $599, holding off offers. And I know it's worth, I don't know, $750. So what I would do is $750, 817, or $751, 817. And then that house would sell for exactly $2,000 over that number. And then I would call you in and be like, you know what? Just wanted to call you and say thank you so much. Appreciate it, allowing us the time. But I really didn't like what you did because I know exactly what happened. you gave my number to the other person, that local agent. I'm okay with that. No, I didn't. I said, yes, you did. Because I gave you such a weird number, right? The fact that that person would come 2,000 over that exact same number, I just baited. And often I'll do that in negotiation. I'll come up with numbers, weird numbers, because what I want my counterpart to say is what? Mike, guess what? You're selling me this watch. I'll offer you, how much would you offer?
$5,000.
$5,000. And I say, Mike, I can give you $3,127.37.
Sold. It's only $1,500.
No, but in that scenario, what, right? You'll be like, no, I don't want it. Okay, but why not? I just know I want $5,000. All he's doing this is like it's his stance.
Yeah,
All he's trying to do is protect his stance. What I'm trying to like get at is what they teach you at a higher level of negotiation is principled negotiation. The end result will be there if you do the principle. The process is the most important thing, not the end result. If you do the process properly and you do it now, the end result, majority of the time, should be a good one and a positive one for your clients, right? So what I would expect, Mike, would be like, okay, Milo, out of curiosity, how did you get to 3,120? The majority of the time, if somebody doesn't ask me this, I already know that I'm not dealing with a very good negotiator, and I'm already disappointed. So these are some of the things that I'll put into play just to see how my counterpart is. But like you said, hey, how did you arrive at that number? It's a key question to ask because it helps with the negotiation. So good for you that you able to get the. So your name is? Sure. SH or CH? And I know Mamushka. And Cheryl got the 600. Who got 550? Anybody? 555? 550. There's no, you can't go less than this. Because if you read the instructions, you're only negotiating
Yes.
between here and here.
Now ask who got less than 550.
Did anybody get less than 550?
Okay, they're good.
Anybody on the,
Samira and Tennille got 575,
okay,
Who's up?
75,
and Peter and Preston got 580.
okay. 580,
And here's one that you're gonna. Chris and Jude got 685. And there's hold on, wait. They got 685 because they also included the furniture and the chandeliers because they're leaving the country. So they got 685.
I think that's an Oklahoma deal, okay?
I think, yeah, that was, by the way, that's an Oklahoma, yeah, that's an
Hold
Oklahoma.
on, he had a typo, 585.
Fine, y'all.
He should stop me. And one more, Emilio. Love and Lorna got 565.
Oh, we got 565.
565, okay, so we got 600, 595?
587.5.
587.5. 590? 587.5, how? What was, actually, what I wanted, do you guys mind? Because there's two groups that I think your group and you guys group, you guys didn't reach an agreement, correct? Okay, do you guys mind having that conversation, like we do this quickly, or how do you guys, are you guys okay with role play?
Eliana, you want to?
Okay, give me that chair here, give me that chair, let them, okay, so you guys,
Like based on what we actually said?
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
You, well, how did you start it? That's another thing, how did you start the negotiation?
Me
So
and
have a seat,
Eliana.
up here.
And talk in a nice clear voice so the mic picks it up on the screen.
It's nothing great, but. So I basically started off with like, hey, we're almost at the end. We're just discussing the.
We're not here.
Oh,
No, none of us are
Yeah.
here.
So yeah, hey, so just start from the top, like how we went.
Nobody's here. You
Oh,
just-
Okay.
Okay, who's Kelly, who's Jeff?
I'm Kelly.
You're Kelly, and he's Jeff, okay.
All right, Kelly, hey, it's been a pleasure working with you. We're at the last stretch. The last 4 days haven't been intense, but I understand client is at 600,000 and you know, I'm at 550. Let's try to make this work out and see where we can go.
Absolutely. Okay, sounds good. So, I'm sorry, this is based on what we actually did?
Yes.
Yes.
You asked the first question. When we did it.
So who made the first offer?
I did. So, okay, I'm like, based off the recently sold the same street, you know, I went 545. It's a smaller unit. It's not as modern, but that's where it sold recently. Based off that, my clients can do 550 just because you guys do get the upgrades going, and that does make it a nicer home.
Right. Okay, and you mentioned the lot size being smaller on my client's property.
Yeah.
But in our case, the lot size has usable space, whereas the other ones, it wasn't really usable space. There's things in there like forest that it costs money to chop down. So like, based on the lot that we have and it not being that much smaller, but it being much more usable, we see the value at 600,000 plus of course the upgrades.
I totally, you know, I get your perspective, but just based on that, that's what we're basing it off of, providing that offer. And also a factor is, my clients, just with the current interest rates, getting approval and finance is a huge factor for them.
Right.
And if we go to a certain point, that they're not going to be able to afford the home.
Right.
And I understand your clients do want to move out. They're looking to leave the country, and we're at this level where we're almost at the last step, and just iron out the fine details is what's that's holding us back.
Okay. So are you saying that your clients are stuck at 560? Like that's the best they can do?
Yeah, just based on their financing and closing costs are going to come in, just so they can expect and make sure everything runs smoothly. That's where they're at.
Okay.
And then you doing that.
Yeah. So this is where I screwed up. Not screwed up, but
That's okay, it's not a screw up, but go ahead.
so I'm willing to cut my commission. By
Okay, so here's, again, we were talking about language, right? Where I would say, listen, my clients want to wait. Rather than, you know what, my clients, how about we give you some more time, maybe you need more time. So how you present it, how you wrap it, it's very important in negotiation. You know, we talked about the word selfish. I said to him, are you selfish? He says, no. I said, I'm a selfish person. He goes, okay. And I go, I'm selfish, especially when I'm doing an act of kindness. And you looked at me like, and I said, how does that make sense? Because what's selfish mean? That I don't care about anybody else, I care about myself. But I just said I'm doing an act of kindness. So the reason I'm doing an act of kindness is because if I do something nice for you, I don't care how you feel, I'm gonna feel good. So that makes me selfish. But however, our environment, our upbringing teaches us what? Selfish is negative context, right?
Right.
So you gotta start, listen, this is why you gotta practice. And that's why, pass me on the table, no, the book. This is why I would encourage every single person, have a negotiation journal. You said, I made a mistake. No, you just learned. So what you would do after this is you would write down all the good things you did in your negotiation, what worked well, right? Focus on the positive first so that you can redo those. And then go back and say, oh, what could I improve on? Or I didn't like this, I didn't like that. I should have asked more of this, I should have asked less of that, right? I shouldn't, give my commissions, like, in cutting your commission, I see it. And that's a decision that you have to make on your own. I'm not saying you should never do it. It's a cost of business that you have to address, but you want to make sure that you're protecting your money as well as your clients. Right? One thing that you said too was, because you said about financing, we're talking about interest, and I think with Taraj, we've had this where you would say something and I'll come back to you and be like, hey, listen, so I know the gap is getting close, but now I'm concerned about the legitimacy of your client's financing. Is there something I need to be worried about? Because he's trying to use it as a bargaining chip.
Right.
Right? And you're like, well, wait a second, is the deal at jeopardy here? So these are kind of questions and interactions that you want to keep having. Yeah. I get why you did that. And like I said, it comes down to you, but try to protect that. Try to work for it.
Right.
Because otherwise, what's gonna happen is, when you rest your head on that pillow, you're gonna start wondering, could I have done more? What did I, like, and then you start, and again, regret, and that's why, like Mike said, dismiss it, right? Just dismiss, like, you're done with it, learn from it. How am I gonna improve? Okay, but good. Actually, I like the interaction. Another thing too is body language, right? He's not like, hey, yeah, so it's yo, man, that's dope. That's a dope. Like, what's your language?
Yes.
Right? Like, amazing. Like, wow. Like, yeah, man. Like, nope. Yep. Watch that. Right? And body language is good. Like right now, I'm like, okay, they went up. He wants to work, but if he's leaning back and not, yeah, like, all right, that's important. Huge in negotiations. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
One more quickly. The group that didn't reach an agreement, come up.
Awesome, man. Look good.
So far, so good, yes?
Yeah.
So you guys didn't reach an agreement.
No.
What happened?
Who was
Oh, yeah, sorry, Kelly and who was Kelly?
Kelly.
You're Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff. I think we just run out of time. We didn't look at the time, and then you came and you're like, okay, time to go. I'm like, oh man.
Okay, but any like, okay, how did you like the negotiation? What did you like about what she was doing in the negotiation?
I mean, she stick to her gun. Like, we didn't reach an agreement because she was.
Did you, who made the first offer?
I think it was you. You offered 550 or 540.
Yeah, I give a range. Yeah.
Okay, and then what was your counter to that?
I rebutted and I said market value is 580. However, with the money that my client has invested into this property, she's looking for 600.
And then?
So I said, like, I appreciate like all the time and effort your clients put in the upgrades, but my client is looking to do a rebuild. So they're really looking at the lot size. And for them, like all the upgrades, like even if they're nice, like they don't have that much value for them. So that's why they're looking at a lower price.
Okay, and then?
Yeah, that was really good. That kind of took me off guard because he's essentially saying that the upgrades are invaluable to his clients. But I was then stating that my client has invested her money, her time into this, and I don't want her walking out in the negatives. So I'm protecting the interests of my clients.
Okay, and then?
I
was going back and forth, like I listened to it, and like the reason I'm saying this is because what happens is as you start, everybody says this, and I always, like whenever I talk to another agent, I say, look, I know right now we have a gap. One thing I know is that we got to lessen that gap. But as you start to close that gap, if you don't articulate, verbalize, and communicate with the other party correctly, parties become apart. As you start to get close, again, if you don't do those three things, they go the opposite way. So you really got to be like ask questions. Again, how often does it happen in our business that they start negotiating and it's just pick up the phone, write it down. What am I trying to get? What intel do I need? Right? And you want to follow a process. What's the closing date? How long do they need to be out? Can be out in 3. Maybe. And right now we just focuses on price, but as you negotiate, it may not be price. It might be the closing date might be of interest because maybe they've sold and they need to secure something. So asking questions and trying not, like, again, be careful and trying to protect and like push your agenda, because that could also create tension within, it's me versus you. I'm trying to win, you're gonna lose. So you gotta really, again, choose your words correctly to keep an open dialogue. Make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, there's some books away for that.
Yes, so Cheryl gets another one. Yes,
Dave gets one.
Dana gets one.
I've got one.
Come, Dana, which one?
Come on, Dana. Come on up here. Email you.
Yes.
You've got a question from home.
Yep.
The owner wants to know, what's the strategy to deal with realtors that are bullies and rude in negotiations?
How often, actually, a show of hands, have you ever had a realtor that says, by the way, I've been in the business this many years?
Yeah,
Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
And then, and usually, how's the tone of that? Like, listen, buddy, I'm better than you. So what I usually do, what you want to do in these scenarios, is say, excellent.
Yeah,
I'm glad that I'm dealing with a seasoned realtor. So you're literally bringing a level of expertise into this. And I'm, with all this years of experience, there's no reason why collectively we're not gonna come to an agreement. I appreciate you sharing that. You're gonna get that. So I think for those of you that are watching online, and you are gonna get the bullies, you're either gonna get the ones that are take it or leave it, my way or the highway. That's part of what we do. And that's why people hire you, so that their emotions don't get in the way of getting a deal done. Right? That's why they come to you. They come to you so that their emotions don't get in the way and you can take control. Again, another thing you need to be, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. So another thing that you should keep in mind is also when you're getting responses from a counterpart agent, right? You may not want to be sharing all the contents of what he's telling you. Yeah. Yeah, them too. Yeah, you too.
Sorry. Any suggestions, recommendations?
Negotiating Genius is good. Beyond Reason is good.
What's the best negotiation?
Exactly.
This one's good.
This one?
Genius.
Yeah.
So often too is you want to make sure that, and I see this all the time, and so let's say I send them an email, right? And he responds rudely, or he gives me certain intel. You got to be careful what you share with your client. You got to know how your clients negotiate, how they behave. You got to understand that. And often when I'm dealing with an agent, I'll be like, hey, nice to meet you, Matt. Pleasure. Out of curiosity, and then like we engage, listen, this is the way I like to negotiate. I think if we can collectively, collaboratively, we can independently meet the interests of our clients. And I say, look, and we start, and then I say, out of curiosity, how does your client negotiate? How does your client take to certain situations? It's like, I don't understand what you mean. I'm like, well, we have a certain scenario that we want, or a certain number that we want to propose. I also want to know how your client is. So can you tell me a little bit about it? Why are they interested in this property? Why are they relocating? Can you share that with me? Right? So again, try to get some intel, because I want to make sure I'm going to structure my next move. Right? And now I'm going to say move, and obviously we talk about it, this term is being bastardized a little bit over the last couple of weeks, because everybody says that negotiations, it's a game of chess versus the game of checkers. Yes, but you guys know what goes into a chess master, how much work, dedication they got to put into playing that game with that. You guys, so I'm going to play something in a little bit, but understand that it's preparation. Prepare, not just prepare to protect your stance, but get to understand the other side. Prepare for them. Like, what intel do you need that may be important to them, but not important to you, but that now you have concession? You know what, if we can accommodate your closing, could you guys do this? Right?
That's a
And
great
if-
line, write that down. That's a dialogue. Do it again.
if I could, comply with your closing, could you guys do that? Come up to this number.
If I could, would. Where'd you hear that before?
Another thing, I hope you guys, if you guys don't have a copy already of the exactly what to say, make sure you get it.
I sent it out this morning.
You did? Okay. Exactly what to say, the book?
Yep.
Get the original one. I would suggest, that's my opinion. I don't like the other one, the one for real estate with Jimmy Mackey and Steve Smith.
You guys.
I don't like it just because it sounds very scripted. The reason why I use those words is that it creates dialogue. okay, people talking, what do people like to do? Talk. And often when, going back to when we're talking about the bully agent that, who was it, Samir? Lorna, sorry. Lorna asked about this agent. Usually those bully agents, they like the sound of their own voice. And they don't listen to you. And there's gonna come a time in your negotiation where I've said this to somebody, they're like, wow, you really like the sound of your voice. Excuse me, I'm like, because you haven't allowed me to even, I've given you the time to speak. And usually I let them talk and I'll sit down and I say nothing. Let them talk, I'm making my notes. And I'll go for 2-3 minutes, making my notes. And I'm like, okay, now that you spoke, and then I say something and then they interrupt me. I'm like, whoa. Again, sounds to me like you sound outside of yours. Is there more to this transaction that I should know about? Are you involved in this? Do you have an interest in this property? Because if you do, I need to be aware. Excuse me? Because then I gotta send you a disclosure form. Right? I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just trying to make sure that they get it that, hey, pick a back seat. Okay? You had a question?
Yeah, so along with the, like, getting the intel, how much can we expect that they're gonna be absolutely truthful about what they're telling us?
Because we gotta take your notes. Like,
Yes.
okay, so we're talking about another agent.
Yeah.
Correct. Your clients, are they truthful with you 100%? Yes or no?
Yeah. Well, this particular one, yes, but
Even if they tell you, and if you think I'm telling you, they're not. I'm telling you because I've dealt with a client, and Emilio, no, our budget is 1.2. Okay. All of a sudden now, because they lost a few deals, we go to 1.350 or over 1.3. And I'm like, where was this other 100,000? And I had to ask him, like, guys, I'm concerned here. Where are you getting this other 100,000? I'll go to bat for you, but where did you get this money from? Well, we always had it. We just didn't know how, because we hear all these stories about realtors. I just didn't want you to like just get a sale to just get a sale, and our money's at stake here. And I've known this guy. Like, he knew me. He was, I at this time, I've known him for at least 5-6 years. I know the referral, they know me. So again, they'll always keep a little bit in reserve because it's personal information, right? So again, you gotta keep your notes, stay on track, and then sometimes if they're fluffing, it'll come out. But wait a second, you told me that they were pre-approved. Now you're telling me that this is mandatory because they're pushing on their affordability. So were they really approved? Because this is really, really tight for them. I don't know if I should be accepting your offer because now I'm worried that is the deal gonna close, right? So those are things that you need to verbalize to get people engaged. Okay. Let's play the chess game. Yeah, the gambit.
Gambit? You want me to skip ahead or just let it go?
Go to 1.5.
Matt, can you tap the screen, hit the 3 dots and turn the volume up?
By the way, actually, just give me 1 second. Has anybody seen this movie, by the way? The Queen's Gambit?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's on Netflix.
Or the show.
She's, it's a show.
Oh,
Sorry. It's a show that I think season 1 was out now, so she's a chess prodigy, pardon my English. And now she's playing against a chess master, and the rest speaks for itself.
control.
Aha moment.
It's your game. Take it.
So again, she's not just worried about, like, she prepared for all the moves that are gonna happen. And she's obviously, I don't suggest if you're in a negotiation, especially in a face-to-face, don't sit there and be like, like, now you're gonna have problems. There might be issues with your counterpart. They might just be like, are you okay? Like, are you high? What's going on here? Right? So be careful with that. But what I'm trying to get at and demonstrate is that she prepared in advance how it's gonna play out. And there's one exercise that we're gonna do later, just to see what kind of negotiator you are. Because the last thing you want to do is, and yeah, she prepared in the master, but you need to be a chameleon in this business because you don't want to get accustomed to negotiating a certain way. Because otherwise, if I run into you again, then I'm constantly, oh, I know how he negotiates. This is what he's going to do. Now you've lost all leverage for future negotiations with us, and then you're not going to be good for your clients. So you want to become a chameleon in this. And, you know, when we do this exercise, you might be a certain style of negotiator today. And as time progresses and you get better and you start documenting your negotiations and all these things, you should evolve into a different type of negotiator, a collaborative negotiator, right? Not a competitor, not somebody who's submissive and wants to, you know, get your approval. I'm not trying to be your friend, but I think collectively we can work together to, again, independently meet our client's interests. And I think that's going to be powerful for us, right? So preparation is key. And even with again, and I tell you this, sorry, with the master is because often you're going to meet an experienced agent and you put them up here, right? Don't do that. If you and I end up negotiating, don't put me up here. I'm not up here. We're equal. Do I have more experience? Sure, but I'm not up here. Don't do that because now you're going into a negotiation at a disadvantage, right? Because all you try to do now is, let me just give concessions because this guy's you know, he's on billboards or she's on billboards and she does, you know, social media. I can tell you, like Mike said, I've done negotiation with someone who's apparently a social media phenom. And when the market was on in 2021, no, sorry, I lied, 2016, this is before the pandemic. She had a property for sale, came up for sale in the morning. We saw it in the afternoon. There was no offer presentation, it was just open. And we wanted to submit an offer, and she said, we already accepted something. Never told anybody there was a registered offer, never, there was showings booked, because I know because there was other people there, never let anybody know. I'm like, hey, listen, I have an offer for you. And, oh, we already sold it. You couldn't let me know. And then I went back, and it was $45,000 less than, or yeah, $45,000 less than what we would have paid. Right? And you want to explain that to your clients. And look, I'm looking after your best interest. You as the public, but don't see what we see. But by not being able to negotiate this way, we're leaving money on the table. And 45, could you could you do, how happy would you be with $45,000 today?
Yeah, I'm very happy if I get the 45,000.
Right?
Yeah.
$45,000 is, it's a,
A lot of money,
two part-time jobs. Right? Sorry, Teraj, you had one.
When did Broker Bay start registering offers to your Eagles?
I don't know exactly. I think it was around 10, just around
3 years ago, maybe we took it or.
So back when you had your thing, was she calling you for all the
should
registration?
have called. They didn't call anybody. And I'm telling you, that's one thing I'll tell you right now. If you guys want to do well in business, negotiate, grow your business, like we said, you know, the 20 million, the 500,000, 20 clients, don't cut corners. And this is gonna sound bad right now, but anyways, I'll reserve from saying it, but actually, I'm gonna say it. Fuck off. Stop cutting corners. Honestly, don't. Like, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your clients. You want to build a business that lasts? Don't cut corners. The difference between good and great is so minuscule. You have no idea. And I think we talked about this example in 2007. I think it was Tiger Woods was the #1 golfer, and the number 10, I think it was Payne Stewart or somebody. Let's say Payne Stewart, I think it was. And the difference between strokes was the difference between the two of them was 1.2 strokes difference. 1.2. That means this guy did better. The Tiger Woods hit the ball 1.2 strokes less than this guy. And he made, I think it was like $10 million versus like 1.1. Not a significant difference, but in the grand scheme of things, very impactful. That's what I'm saying. Don't cut corners. Just because, and especially with terminology too, like we do this every day. There's certain terminology that we can share every day. And you think that your clients are supposed to know this terminology. They don't know it. So now they're sitting there going, okay. And they don't want to ask you a question because they don't want to feel stupid. So you need to adjust. Become a chameleon. Adjust yourself to every situation if you want to be successful. Okay?
What's the average sale price right now? In Trip?
I think $1,085,000 is it? $1,085,000 is like
1.1 million.
1.1.
Yeah.
It's commission on that, 2.5, my side.
There's a 20.
33,000 plus HST. 33,000 plus HST.
33,000.
Plus.
Plus HST.
33,000.
Yeah.
That's the one stroke at 0.2, which is 1/5 of that number. What's 1/5 of that?
1/5 of 33,000. Yeah, it's around 6,200. Yeah.
6,600 or something?
Yeah,
7,000.
Oh, it's 6,500.
Okay.
Add those two numbers up. 40,000. There's your almost $45,000. That's your 1.2 strokes.
Yeah.
In business. One deal. Can you do that? It's easier to think of it that way than in the I got to make $47,000. No. That's your 1.2 stroke analogy for us in real estate, if you want to break it down. So when you're looking around your room and your offices and you're seeing your mentor Emilio, your others that you in your mind's eye have as your top realtor, how many strokes, how many extra deals are they getting versus you when we're talking those kinds of numbers, right? Are they 10 strokes better than you? If they're 10 strokes better than you, that's $330,000 more than you. That's where you got to actually close that gap and quantify it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. When you say don't cut the corners, can you give us some examples of don't cut the corners? But I want to understand exactly what is meant by the don't cut the corners.
Client wants to look at properties, right? Hey, man, nice to meet you. Thanks for reaching out on that. You wanted to I guess you want me to just send you some properties?
I was actually looking to view the property that I inquired about.
It's sold conditional.
What is that?
That means that whoever bought it, we're just trying to satisfy the conditions. So it's no longer available basically.
Okay, is there any way that, I guess, condition might not go through?
Maybe, but probably it's probably gonna sell. It's probably gonna firm up, which means that the property is gonna be sold to that person.
Would it be possible to do it anyways, just in case?
Yeah, I just don't think it's gonna happen, and but you know what? I'll have your number. If it falls through, I'll call you.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Effective, yes or no?
No.
Why not?
Not at all.
Why not?
Liked about the property. You could ask them what he liked about the property.
What else could I have asked?
You wanna see more property?
You could have taken it.
But that's what I'm saying. Cut the corner. Most people, and I know maybe I blemish it a little bit, but it happens a lot.
What?
Oh, absolutely. Or okay, I'll give you one. Cutting corners. I get a page. Call you back in 6 hours.
Now this is again cut the corner.
Right? How many times do you call an agent? And how long does it take you? And I usually, and I'm pretty sure there's 2 people I can call right now. They'd probably be shocked as hell if I call them that I just negotiated with. And this guy goes, holy crap. I just called your office. I go, I know. He goes, that was quick. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know it took too long. He goes, what are you talking about? That took a minute. Too long. Because again, we're cutting corners. I'll get to that. Oh, I'll do that later. Or, oh, I'm busy. Or it's simple things that you got to do. It's not much. I'm telling you, not much. But in the eyes of the clients, if you get back to them, even if you're busy and you can't get to it, what do we say to do?
Send a text message that you'll call them.
Send a text message. Hey, listen, I got your page. I'm in the middle of something at the moment. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Let them know. Send them a page. Don't cut corners. Right? Do the extra, be that doctor that takes the extra 5 minutes to make sure. Because if I start building a rapport with you, even though we may not do a deal right now, maybe the property is not even for your client. I built such a strong rapport that next time you see my listing, or you see me bringing an offer, who you want to deal with?
You're the same. Yeah. Because we spend some extra, we go for some extra miles, right?
Right. And one thing, so I'm gonna move a little bit quickly here, but one thing I would tell you, don't negotiate via email or text messages. Why? Why don't you?
Can convey as well, or face to face or voice.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
Like honestly, you really do. And it takes a while. Like I know that there's a team out in Milton, and there's this agent. I'm like, and I had to ask him, like, listen, out of curiosity, did something happen that perhaps you can't pick up the phone? Like I'm just like I'm not just. And sorry, this may come across a little bit awkward, but I'm just trying to understand why like all you're doing is texting me. Because how clear is that text message? Right? Because what could happen? Maestro. Can you play that?
That's Jeff over there.
Maestro. Can you play that video, the third one?
Yes.
Tell me if you guys watch this video, and for those of you, like for everybody who's watching here and online, tell me if you think this happens in real life, yes or no.
Matt, can you do the same thing for me? And put her up all the way this time, just it was a little bit low last time. Sure.
After the video.
Text conversation, that one?
Yeah. In like 10 minutes.
I've been trying to reach out to you all day. Are we on for tonight? Jeez.
What? You can't catch me. You can't catch me. I'm Lance Moore. Touchdown, bitch. What? Pause. Oh, shoot. Keegan's been texting me. Sorry, dude. Missed your texts. I assumed we'd meet at the bar. Whatever. I don't care.
Sorry, dude, missed your texts. I assumed we'd meet at the bar. Whatever, I don't care. whatever I don't care, the is his problem? Do you even want to hang out?
Do you even want to hang out? Oh, that's considerate. Like I said, whatever.
Like I said, whatever? This guy. Jesus, you
are priceless. Aww. You're the
one who's priceless? This mother right here. Oh, he wants to. Okay. Okay. You want to go
right now? Huh. Guess I could do that. Okay.
Okay, let's go. He said, okay. Okay, let's go. All right, you know what? You know what? You want to really
do this now? Keegan, you nut. You're not putting me out.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, you asshole.
First round's mine.
Oh, no. Oh, no, there ain't gonna be no rounds, asshole. It's gonna be a street fight. This son of a...
Because tonight we gonna party.
No!
Buddy! Like I said, first round's mine. A beer and a gimlet. For my partner, right? What's that?
I got you a baseball bat with nails in it.
For my post-apocalyptic Jackie Robinson costume. How did you know?
So, does that happen, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, how many times, and I'm sure, listen, whether it's a client, whether it's a counterpart, how many times you get something from the other end, you'll be like, no, this mother, like, you're doing that. You got them doing that. Like, I think it was Zig Ziglar that used to say, the phrase was, I never said you stole the money. And you can say that in different ways by raising the voice inflection at different words. As we talk about it, being able to have like the voice inflection is powerful. But that's why you don't want to do the texting and the emailing and all that stuff because you're missing that tone. And I think one of the words you shared with them was the Floyd "be honest," which in Floyd Wickman said, "Be honest" is artistic in how you deliver that. Because I can say, listen, be honest. What am I just implying? It's a lie, right? Like, so it would be like, you know, it's almost like Jenny, let me ask you something and be honest. If you could, would you, see what I mean? The tone has to soften up. But if I said, hey, Jenny, be honest, where were you at? Like, again, I'm putting her on, I'm saying that she's gonna lie. Right. So again, is you have to understand is what you said, what you meant, what they heard, and what they understood are four different things. Four different things. I know we have a couple of quick exercises. I know these got 8, and we're done here at 2.
You can go as long as you guys want to stay. You guys
I
enjoying this?
Yeah. Because I honestly, I got 2 things that 2 exercises that I want to do with you guys. There's a negotiation that I want you guys to partake. Maybe we can do that with the food, because there is some reading and some preparation. And what I would say for that preparation, for that one, I want you to record yourself. Okay? Because, and I would encourage that. Like, I've had it like, you know, with team members, they're like, oh, I don't want to record myself. What's the point? Do it. Because when you speak, like how many of you have ever left a message someplace and go back and listen to your own self? Have you guys like that? And then you think, what a loser. Is that like, I sound like that? Like, wow, like, oh my gosh, like I would actually use some more offensive words with myself, but because when you speak, part of your brain shuts off, right? So if when you go back and hear yourself, you're like, oh my God, I can't express it, or I can't believe I sound like that, or like, how do you think the other people are taking that in? So when we do the negotiation, which we're gonna get to shortly, I want you guys to record yourselves so that you can later on look at it, analyze it, and start dissecting on how to improve yourself. And you don't have to beat yourself up, but just see things that you might be doing. Often, again, could be body language. So also could be the language. Yo, yeah, man. Or hey buddy, And sometimes if I'm talking to an agent, I might say, oh, thanks, bud. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Pardon me for that. They're like, no, it's okay. I'm like, no, it's not okay. You know, there's a level of respect that should be and professional. You know, I'm sure we'll get to that later when we put the deal together. Right? And the other one too is also watch ticks, your nervous ticks, like things that you might do. Most people, when they talk, sometimes always do this. Why are you always doing this? Like, you're not in the Illuminati's, like relax. Right? And we do this. And so watch your ticks. Like the Agassi, I think, recently came out, or not recently, but he had disclosed that when he used to play against Boris Becker, when he used to serve, he would put his tongue where the ball was going to go because he was watching video. So Agassi goes to Becker. He goes, I don't know if you knew. They went out for beer. And goes, yeah, I don't know if you knew, but you did this with your tongue every time you served. So I knew where the ball was going. And then I had to even fluff a few so that you didn't think I had caught on to your tick. So I know right now we don't often negotiate face to face, but if we do and we get back to that, be ready for that. And even if we don't get face to face, people can still feel you through the phone, yes or no? And Floyd Whitman, if you watch his, you give him the dialogue?
All the videos, all the dialogues.
Guys, immerse yourself in that. Because if you watch Floyd in those videos, he's wearing a black shirt, black, the background is black, and all you see is his hands and his face. And watch that because voice inflection, mannerisms, all that is powerful. And I think there's one of the dialogues, he even has a mirror there. Not because he thinks he's handsome, because he wants to look at himself, because he knows that the way he pretends that there's a client there, because that person on the other end on the phone is gonna feel that energy. Right? We were fortunate to meet Floyd, and even in person, this guy, and a lot of the stuff that you guys see today, it comes from Floyd and Zig Ziglar. Floyd Whitman, like this guy is the godfather of real estate sales. So artistic, so articulate, so masterful in what in how he did the business. At the end of the day, anybody that comes after, I'm telling you that everything is Floyd. So watch Floyd, like watch an hour, dedicate an hour a day, immerse yourself in your craft. If you want to be great and make X number of dollars, immerse yourself in your craft. Okay? So I want to put you guys in a group of 4. This is a quick exercise that actually we need pieces of paper. Sure. For the, what time?
1 o'clock.
And how many people do we have? 4? Oh, who we got in here? How many online? 10? 19?
11.
Okay, maybe we'll do that one today. So maybe we will do this. Do the Gibson and Parker.
Gibson and Parker.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys. I'll put you guys in pairs. Read it. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to read it. 20 minutes to read it. Yeah, I'm going to give you 20 minutes to read it. In the meantime, you can have some pizza, read it. Then I'm going to put you into groups. Wait, actually, I'll put you into groups now, and then you will negotiate. So wait. Which one do you have?
Parker's.
Parker, okay, wait 1 second. I'll take Gibson. Peanut butter? Yeah. Yes. Okay. You're with Taraj.
Yes, Taraj.
Where are you going?
Gibson, hold on. Gibson, Parker. Parker. Gibson.
That's what he said.
You're with from Parker. So you guys are in groups. Okay? Which one you got? Parker?
I expect you to
Parker. Zuna. You're Gibson. That's your.
You didn't go there, that's
So.
No, I didn't go.
You're with her. Parker? Gibson.
Mike, you? Parker, give.
Parker. Parker Gibson, Parker Gibson.
No, you are a partner.
Oh,
Gibson?
Oh.
Ken Jenny Parker.
Good. 20 minutes?
Read it, you got 20 minutes to read it, you don't negotiate anymore. All you're doing is reading it.
Read with pizza.
Gibson?
And good pizza.
Parker.
You say so.
There's what I was watching this morning.
Gibson? Parker. Gibson?
Sorry, people at home, I just emailed you everything now. I'm gonna split up the groups in a second. Check your email.
That's your email. Eat, have some pizza, take 20 minutes to read. Again, alternatives, options. And don't eat, but again, look at your alternatives, your options, your interests, your background, all these things. Set up what you're gonna negotiate. So read it, set yourself up, and then then you guys can start negotiating. Okay?
Script number 1, I is being emphasized. Okay. I did say she hit him. What is that communicating? That's communicating that somebody else told that somebody hit him. Okay. Script number 2, I didn't say she hit him. This is saying that the person accusing them is lying, right? Or that she didn't say that she didn't do it, that somebody else said it.
Learning?
Okay, same
This is the one you chose.
So I guess we're just gonna get that from YouTube. Favorite. Okay, that's pretty good. Yep.
This one is. This is the notes section of that book. That's about the core concerns, the 5 core concerns that stimulate emotions, appreciation, affiliation, autonomy, status. So like,
Hey, pretty good. How are
you want to respect the thing, but don't. I guess you're.
Amelia, sorry. They're just for reading, right? Or do you want
So
to?
did you send half and half?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, all they're doing is the next 20 minutes, reading and preparing themselves for the negotiation.
And then should I leave them into the group and tell them, hop and tell them to start negotiating?
Yeah, but make sure like we know who's Parker and who's Gibson.
I got you. Okay, Orsita and Peter, can you guys hear me? Okay, gotcha. I emailed both of you. Which email did you get? Did you get Parker or Gibson? So at the the email title should have just had one of them. Gibson, and then Peter, you got Parker. And Preston, I just saw you hop into. Which one did you get? Please read the subject line of the email.
Sorry, I couldn't help over here, Paris, and I'm like, oh.
Gibson, okay, so we got 2 Gibsons, 1 Parker. And I've got Kathy set to join the room as well. And Kathy got your group is perfect. 2 Gibson, 2 Parker. So
The
you guys
agent
are just
goes,
gonna
I'm
read
like, yeah,
for
how's
now.
the, I have some
In
questions.
about 15-20
He goes,
minutes,
but I go, there's a.
Yoyo is gonna hop back in.
Oh, that's true. What do you want to know?
But for now, just read the entire thing.
It's original.
Pages.
I
And
just
just
think it was in
basically just,
19, I'm like, oh,
that's
1986.
all for now.
He's like, oh, how'd you know that? I said, well, that's the level two. He goes, you did? I said, well, of course. He said, if I'm gonna be working with you, putting your ear together, I wanna make sure you understand that, okay, we got this.
That's okay, it's okay. We'll just, only one person will argue for the other side. It's, we work with what we got.
And I just said, close it, I'm gonna close it. He's like, yeah, well, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my guys, share this information. I'm hoping that I'll have something to take either today or tomorrow.
Okay, Jude and Lorna, can you guys hear me?
Just as long as you communicate.
Okay, so, did you both get my email?
Be careful.
Did you, who got Parker and who got Gibson? It'll be the subject line of the email.
What am I gonna do? No, you wanna know how great you wanna get great. So me sitting here reading your picture on this, on that. You're like, okay, that's great.
But did you get Parker?
I'm gonna learn and be great.
Yeah, the email that I sent you.
And then you pay it forward. Yeah. Level 2 gives you like.
Or, no, but.
Year was billed.
The
renovation. Have you ever seen
subject
one?
line of the email only had Parker or Gibson. Which one did you get?
You see it on the thing, but you never, okay, so it just gives you more details. Right, so
You
you
got
got
Parker, okay,
$5.
and Jude, you had
This was
Gibson?
$9.
Okay, so you both have each half, that's perfect. I don't see Christian or Padraig coming into the room, so it's just the two of you. So you've got some time, read it, don't share the
No problem, no
the
problem.
details. Read it in about 15 minutes or so, I'll pop back in and we'll tell you to start negotiating, okay? Okay.
No.
Yeah, you're part, yeah, exactly, okay, perfect, you're good.
Can I photocopy it?
No problem. I just saw Padraig hop in. Padraig, you should have gotten an email and just read it for now and we'll negotiate later.
So,
Want that one? That's all the dialogues from exactly what to say and.
Recording and.
You have this.
but I lost.
A couple people have had to leave.
Okay.
Just because they didn't plan to go beyond one. So.
Is it a Parker and a Gibson or just?
Well, they're both perfectly split. So
Okay.
the rooms. So we've got. Get an eye, yeah, no. We had thieves come from outside that we had enough plates. Thieves.
Very strong, right? So you're not listening to.
I guess so.
No. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's give it a shot.
I watched it earlier.
We all do that.
Nice. Sorry.
Who is your partner?
Leon, I guess, the one sitting over here.
Okay, and which one do you have?
It's a,
Gibson?
sorry about that. Is there one particular book you would recommend getting started with?
They're all great, man.
Anyone that's your best, like your favorite?
Getting to yes.
Where are you in your career?
About 3 years in.
3 years in? And how's your business? Is it structured?
Well, it's getting there.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Okay.
If it's structured, then because I think everybody gets it.
I probably have that one already.
Okay. And the other one would be
Getting to yes.
no, it's they're all mine. I only have some difficult conversations with them.
Thank you. The people, I have a screenshot of the people who. One book for each of them.
Yes.
Should I just ask them which one they want?
Yep.
What do you want?
I mean, you're right.
Those are at home, they're 8, and they stay this long, give them all, each, all of them. They participated in the yeah.
We negotiate my fee and stuff.
In front of everybody?
Yeah, me too. I'm so nervous.
Why?
Because I give it offer, they did it my staff. He just called me if I can approve. Because he has another offer, and this is for me.
Oh, you can ask me.
And I'm very,
I'm the worst. I don't get emotional.
I'm very emotional right now.
But does he have the other offer?
It's coming up for 30.
So when, so it gets registered?
About 30. My offer is expired. It was last night.
And why did he counter?
I was 0 day on the market and wanted just to see more activities. I believe I did in the very based on comparables, based on.
You believe or you know?
I know.
Because I know kids that believe in the boogeyman.
I know.
But I know he doesn't exist.
I know.
I don't know, what do you get paid for? Another Gibson. Shoot. Who was your partner? Okay. Okay. I'll figure it out. Okay. No, it's fine. I'm distracted because I was trying to get everybody enough, but there's 2 Gibsons, that's why. Okay. Just make sure.
If this is first here, I can stay.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Fine.
Let me know what you think.
Which one was it? The French?
The guy?
Yeah.
He was here, I don't know her name.
Promise, yes.
Okay.
Check one, I have another one, 230 is okay. I can stay.
Wait, just because I have one that handed in, so one person's already out with it, and they're both the same. I just think, okay, sorry, I'll be quick. I'll be quick.
No, it's okay.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so just because you guys are all kind of still sticking around, everyone gets a pick of their book. Do you guys ever able to see what the books were by chance?
Can I message you or they?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do this here real quick. There we go. So we've got Leaders Eat Last, Master Your Emotions, Atomic Habits, How to Listen, Hear, and Validate, the 7
So you can start
habits of
negotiating.
highly effective people.
You can start negotiating, guys, you can start negotiating.
Never split the
It's
difference.
120, giving you 20 minutes to negotiate.
Difficult conversations.
With the ones that we assigned.
Negotiation genius. Mindset. Negotiating the non-negotiable. And how to win friends and influence people.
Oh, what's it?
Any preference?
Can I get that last one?
Okay, so I heard someone say last one. Was that Jude?
Yes, that's the difference.
Okay, Preston.
No,
Yeah.
but you can negotiate now and then we'll get.
Okay, no problem.
You guys can start negotiating.
Who wanted the second last one?
Yeah.
Or Sita?
Are you ready?
Oh, yes, sorry. Okay, yeah.
And there's one other person in this room, I think, who's still here.
No.
You have a query. Sorry, say Alan?
Come back at like
Sorry,
20
Peter Kigak?
Try not to draw blood, okay?
There's no one else in the room, right?
Oh, you're,
No, just Kathy was. Oh, she's coming back. Okay, I will just, I'll write her name down. Okay, so I can set these aside. Shoot me an email, please, and just let me know if you want to pick it up or if we want me to send it to the Don Mills office.
One. Which one do you want? Stuff, yeah. Whatever you want. No, I don't need. I don't need. Hey, guys. Okay, we got Christian, Jude, Lorna, and Patrick in here.
Have you guys had a chance to look at what books you want? Because we've got the Leaders Eat Last, Master Your Emotions, Atomic Habits, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Negotiating the Non-Negotiable, Mindset, Negotiation Genius, Difficult Conversations, How to Listen, Hear, and Validate, Never Split the Difference, and the 7 habits of highly effective people. You all get to choose one.
What's your favorite?
Mike, what's your favorite? I've never read them.
I like.
Genius. I'm sorry, who was that speaking?
It's always a good question.
Christian, Negotiation Genius, this one? Christian Goji, right?
Yes.
Okay, aside for you, who's next?
What's the orange one? Sorry, I didn't get that one, the title.
Negotiating the Non-Negotiable?
Come get a book, guys.
We'll have that one, okay. Was that Jude? Jude, okay, Jude. Who else we got in there? Padre, which book would you like?
Genius,
Genius. Oh, the last one's gone, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, what did I say?
Sorry, say it again?
How do I get the difference in the dice?
Oh, okay.
I can't think of what you say.
So how to hear, listen, and validate?
Yeah.
That one, okay. That was Padre.
Simon Sidding's good too. He's the guy that stuck the book, Getting to Why.
And there's one other person in the room.
Yeah, he's a really prolific author.
Who's the last person in the room here? Look at my screen. Lorna, are you there? Mo Lorna?
These are already spoken for, you said, right?
Yeah. Lorna's not. Okay, so Lorna has her pick. Just when she gets back, I'll let her choose one.
Like those others just saw like the full range of my stress for the last few days getting together this offer.
Okay, so
Recommend this one? Yeah.
my Amelia said start negotiating, right? Sorry? Start negotiating, right? They're starting. They're negotiating now?
That's right.
Okay. So, guys, you are free to start negotiating. So two of you are working for Parker. The subject line of the email will tell you which one you had. So basically, you're good to start negotiating with one another. Two will act for one side, two will act for the other side, and try to come to an agreement.
Yeah. Are these free?
Yeah. Well, no. No, go ahead. First.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is a little bit more for real life.
I am
Business is pretty good at master.
So you are offering.
You guys can hear me? Okay, so negotiations have started. So hopefully you had a chance to read it. The people working for this one will be negotiating with the people working for Parker.
Even copies from
You have one and one of you has the other. So just start chatting, start negotiating. We'll post the rooms out probably, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
He's the guy that
Bring
came
you all
up
back in and.
You always hear, oh, we want to do a win-win scenario. That was his idea. Yeah. They're all good at be good.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
You know?
Just it's so hard to pick. I think we're Parker's friends. Yeah, we are. Okay. Have you read it? Oh man, this is hard for me. I know. Difficult conversations. There's a good one. One that this leaders be last.
You know,
What?
this one's,
20 minutes in total.
So.
Yeah.
Yes, this one. So basically, it's your goal. Don't show me like but it's your goal. It's like how much are you willing to pay for it? Like optimal would be like the best price that you're willing to pay for it, and marginal acceptable would be like your lowest.
Yeah, it was a class.
The lowest you're willing to go. Yeah, and optimal would be the max you're willing to go. A few more minutes and then oh yeah. Let me know anyway. Yeah. Do you wanna stay here or do you wanna go somewhere else? For the negotiation.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. It might be loud.
I'll ask me to set one of each of the sides, so.
I had a couple people that have been here the whole time, but just had to leave, so I'm working on making sure they get a focus more.
Yeah, I had people ask me for that.
Okay.
This is good too. This guy was an FBI negotiator, hostage situations. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, it's
Former FBI hostage negotiator.
Yeah, that's me in the middle was this thing, right? So.
Very cool. Okay. I didn't know.
Yes. You might have them all.
You guys can start negotiating, okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
So this means that anything is better than what I would say no because it's not fair to them.
Okay. Because I know Jenny. Oh my God. Gotta be careful with her.
Oh, Maya. Hello?
I was gonna come in at 10 and
We'll be here for a while longer.
Gibsons had left the building.
Oh.
Oh, I opened up a few. Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that.
Yeah, come in, I'll see you. So nice to meet you, Cheryl. I have a good one. Yeah.
Ah, I learned how to do that. Actually, we should do it over there. Keep her guys so that. Should be able to find space.
No,
Ooh, this is easy. Somebody can validate you. This is actually just how it's created, especially the other person is supposed to. If not, we'll simply choose to have the conversation with someone. But the air closed. I think it's from the how you validation when you feel. So that's how you want to treat it. But another person doesn't validate when you want to practice self validation. That's tough.
I don't know where she is.
She gone.
I don't know, Star.
We don't know.
Are you Gibson? You can be the Gibson and I'll observe and critique.
Agreement already? You got an agreement already?
Me, yeah, but my partner had to leave, so
Oh.
I think she was a little kind with me.
Which one did you tell? Oh, yeah, you got the Jamie jacket.
Yeah, yeah, I got that one.
I told him, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I'm kind of the representing partner, but they're representing, not the representative. Yeah, right. Right. Okay, so kind of nervous.
Who is she?
She's Gibson.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
hi.
hi. Oh,
Hi,
okay.
hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Pleasure. Oh my God. You know what? I don't think we ever had the pleasure of negotiating before.
No.
No, oh my God, I'm so excited. I was like looking forward to So, tell me a little, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
treat it like that.
Okay.
It's a role play.
Yeah,
Assume the role.
yeah. I'm so used to doing over the phone that like,
And that's what I
Yeah.
remember you saw that, right? So what
Yeah.
happens over the phone? So just assume the role.
okay,
Because even on the phone, they feel that energy.
that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and be formal because the way you remember the way you do everything is the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the process. So keep it as that's how you want to practice, right?
Okay. Hi, I'm Jenny.
How are you? I'm Jen.
How are
Nice to
you?
meet you.
Oh, you're Jen too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I represent the Parkers, your neighbors. How are you?
Oh my God, with two Jens involved in this deal,
Yeah.
there's no way we're not gonna get an agreement.
You guys were born around the early 80s.
So I did a deal with myself with Emilio, the buying agent was Emilio, and the guy doing the mortgage was an Emilio.
No.
I'm like, with 3 Emilios, there's no way we're not gonna get this house sold. They're like, oh my God. And then you go from there. Okay? Good job.
I think this is a good feeling. I have a
Done.
good feeling. I do have a good
Yeah.
feeling.
I think it's done and it's gonna be.
Give us some
Yeah,
part.
okay, so, as you already know, your neighbors, I'm representing them, and they're gonna sell their house.
Oh.
How long have you known them?
You know, we have been.
So they lived side by side for a long time, but I don't know how they've been particularly close. I'm not sure. They talked a while ago about maybe sharing the space, but that's maybe something that happened, right?
Yeah, yeah, cause you already know, I don't know how close you are to them, but they are moving out of state.
Okay.
So it's a big move for them. They loved living here, they loved you as a neighbor, they say a lot of good things about you. And, because they said so many good things about you, they wanted to approach you first, approach your client first, and tell them that they are gonna be selling that parcel of land that they purchased 15 years ago, which was very good, because they had so many uses for that parcel of land. And it's such a good piece of land for their family when they came over, and as you already know, with their kids, they have a lot of space to run around, so, yeah, they wanted to approach you first to see if you want, if you are interested, to buy it. Along with, or just to buy it, they're gonna sell it out, they're gonna leave, so.
Okay, so why aren't they packaging that with for sale?
They could, but they thought, yeah, they thought, what, they're our neighbors, it's separate, they could sell it together, we could get more money out of it, but at the end of the day, it's like, so they can use it for their own. I know they have family coming over, so I see their family coming over, they could use the space. Yeah.
Okay, so they're moving out of state for the other time.
Something? Like,
Hey, buddy.
No, they don't have a timeline, so they're actually retiring to move back with family, to be closer to the grandkids, so they don't have a timeline, so it's up to you, how you wanna, or when you wanna, right? Yeah, they just wanted to let you know first.
And so what's their asking price for that?
Asking is 20,000 flat, yeah.
Okay.
No one wants the bigger lot.
Yeah. The Gibsons do.
Okay, yeah, I think they might be interested in the bid. Do you have a?
I think you're part of that.
You did?
Okay, generally defined in the last I'll be a fly on the wall.
You're a fly on the wall.
I'm the partner.
Who's your opportunity?
It should say, right?
No, I'm gonna
I'm
stick
the
here.
seller. You are
There was another gentleman that
the.
was. I think that was really this one. Are you learning though?
Yes.
You got a book there?
No, not yet.
Grab one.
Yeah, we're not gonna worry about financing.
We're just negotiating the deal, but you know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Land, okay, is more.
There's not a lot of land to buy, right?
Any way you like.
Pool.
So you said you started up at least 15 years ago.
Yeah, with me. 20 years ago.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And you used to
Thank you, Jeff. Me too. I looked at her. This is a relief. All the objection handling that you do in the lease and trying to, represent your client. Nothing in it. It's easy. It's easier, way easier. People looking at your buyer, your tenant, how your tenant share, the tenant doesn't make money, how your tenant does. It's not gonna vouch for the tenant.
Show me the money call.
You gotta stand up for your client. You can move it for buyer and a seller.
Are you there?
They run 24 and you want more.
22. Again, it's how you present your client. It's how you present your client. You'd be stupid not to get your client versus, I think my client is an ideal candidate for your property. What we're presenting. Okay. It's how you present it.
The offer they got from the buyer to find the house.
You do a lot of research?
Very close to that.
These kids.
Took me about 5 minutes to figure it out. We're not in. I don't know how you know it's. When I ever get, not the first one, but when I ever get there, so we go and maybe how it was, whatever, I didn't figure it out until after. Advertise the house. They said, so would you like to see it? I asked, would you like to see it? They showed me some cheap. You can use me, my profile.
What'd you get?
The garage. House. Like you want parking, you want this is your budget. Let me show you five. Yeah. And you trade here or parking, whatever, next to your place. Don't spend them too many because you're going to you're going to be safe. I'll know at the end of the month. Two, right in one in November, one in December. They're already from what they already paid.
Your basement.
So they're looking to.
You know what I mean?
Are you Jenny or Jonathan?
Just for the money back with stuff.
I don't think Yes.
And I love studios this way. It wasn't, they had all this stuff. And it's like, figured out.
That story tells me.
I used to hold it also in December. I wouldn't send it. I hate listening might, what's listening they reach out to might not be the perfect thing. Because they say, oh, I want to move this. And you think this might be the right fit. Oh, this doesn't have parts. And you have others available.
You certificate from the Summer Senate? Or?
Not in that sense, but I didn't really pay. No, I think what's your and then I continue. And then work at it again. Not as well. Because I wasn't providing enough value. And you know, hopefully launch most of the things are not the ones that are right now. It's most likely to get to be. I'll think you think that if they make 100,000 I'll take it at face value. I don't think you're gonna like it. I'm gonna find out at 4 anyway. And that's not gonna work out. Because then why would you waste your time telling me? But it came for that. Let me know. Out of the 5, I'm only gonna show you. Out of the 5, one's already accepted an offer. When I 3 offers out.
Yes, yes, Tom.
Getting to you.
I think yes.
At this point, we have to have a credit report. And I thought about rental. I get that because I need that as a point of reference. And it's like 10, 15 minutes. If they, oh, what is my, oh, he works on that. Oh, we have to. Oh, you know, putting it off. I tell them that, or they send me the documents either before or during. But I have the credit, I have the right. I like it. And then you move on. Yes. It took me a while. And then I'm reaching out to other agents that have done this. I mean, I was not.
Yes.
I want to see. Thank you. What do you think?
So you have it a lot.
Are you? I'm in this office.
So now, like, I know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's they can run around.
Running around after these people.
Change your language as the space of your project. What did you do actually?
I would.
Well, ask him for yourself.
2 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I wanted to start, I wanted to see like, from like beginning to end.
Sure, let's move this over.
I learned that there are people that they ask, are you working with a and say no. And I say, hey, you guys need to rent this house. Well, we're working with our cousin who's a
Always remember the old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones. Your own words are more than sticks.
And 6 months in, what's your biggest challenge on your plate?
Yeah, you're convincing yourself.
I lost motivation a long time ago. We used to January. Discipline at that time. It took me a lot of discipline in January. Back in stuff, I think in January, it's dead $5. And I'm like, if I can break that up in 2 months, I built my pipeline. And I realized if I have to make calls, there's only 2 minutes away. I know this, at least that I know. Either in the morning, 9 a.m., 9 a.m. on the dot, maybe to 10, maybe if I can get to it, or 5 to 7 p.m. I call them once, maybe twice, and then coming back with a under 20. And I call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lunch, I'm at work, they're not gonna pick up, I'm busy, then I will call them back. So, if I call them at 9,
I bet you have better luck at night. It's the first part of their day.
Or 9 a.m., they'll pick up.
Yeah. If they haven't had all the junk that's happened in their day.
They're not busy, they're like, okay, that's.
Not busy, but they haven't been derailed yet that day. And they haven't.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, only but I feel like she would have haggled more.
That seems all right.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm
Is it not full? No, we're not together.
Oh, no, I was Cheryl.
And they know you beat this.
Like, I mean,
Yeah, together.
Yes.
That's how I operate.
Yeah.
That's the other problem too. That's a compliment. Wow, I was just figuring out from the night before.
Okay, that's it, guys. Time's up. Shake hands. Shake hands.
As
Okay.
soon as I have the phone, then maybe it's a message of the day.
I think.
On the morning call.
Everybody's back on yet? Okay, everybody, hello?
And starting. Your boss is on. Oh, yeah.
How did? Okay, everybody, thanks. Guys, can I get your attention? So how was that negotiation?
That was great.
Did you guys like it, dislike it? Was it tough? Did anybody get hurt in the process? No hurting,
No injuries?
no injuries, nobody got? Any bully tactics?
No, we didn't.
No harsh, no nothing, just very amicable? Wow, this is, did anybody get 40K?
No.
They're still negotiating.
No, if you didn't come, did anybody get 40?
Wow.
Is there, hold on, so here's the thing. Did you guys come to an agreement? Is it yes?
Yeah.
Is it on paper?
No.
Doesn't exist.
I know.
Does not ever happen, by the way. Guys, does not ever happen. So be careful with that. Hey, man, I'm gonna send you an offer for 30K, or sorry, 350K, 500K. Oh my God, that's great. And then what do? They send you the offer. How much is it? Is it the 350? No, it's 300. Be careful with that. And just because you get a text message with an offer, is that an offer? No. So be careful. So, is it written? Doesn't exist. It's not on paper. So anybody get 40K? No, right? Anybody get 15K?
One group at home got 17.5 firm.
Okay, we'll get to that. So, okay, we'll leave 17.5. Let me just. Okay, so one group right now. Hold on. Anybody get 17 and a half? Sorry, 27 and a half. 27 and a half? Okay, so that's this.
I don't think anyone looked.
That's in the middle. And why do I say that? Yes.
Well, the other group got 25, all cash, 7-day closing.
25. Okay, that's another group, right?
Yep.
And then another one.
Those are the two home groups. There was only the two.
The two, okay.
Yep. 26, 8, 7.
So this is important to know because what do most people do, obviously, in negotiations? They do what this guy says not to do.
Yeah.
Right? You should never do that. Right? And I'm going to give you an example quickly. Some of you that already have attended this, you heard this already, but this is why you never split the difference. Because if you're trying to split the difference, what are we trying to do? We're thinking we're doing this. Win, win, right? And now everybody wants to be, oh, come on, I don't want to fight. I want to win. I want to feel good. You feel good. Even though we're both crap, let's get a participation, but let's be crap together, right? So when we did this, and one of the reasons why I got into negotiations so much was I was always questioning, am I leaving anything on the table? Am I I felt good, but I wasn't fulfilled. And an example that William Ury gave on this fourth day, which it's surrounded around the getting to yes and getting to yes with yourself. He gives the example about the orange. So it's a father and son, and again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself with those of you that have heard this before, but there's a father and son. Sorry, there's a father and two sons, and the father passed away, and in his will he distributed everything equally, except this one orange. And the older son goes, well, since I am the oldest position, I should have that orange. The younger brother says, well, listen, I am the youngest, I should have that orange. Positions. Older brother says, well, I'm married with 2 kids, I should have that orange. I'm getting married, I should have that orange. I bought that house, I should have that orange. I took care of that over the last 5 years. Where were you? I should have that orange. Anyways, you keep finding that out. Go over. Oh, no, Mikey, listen, we have a problem. We can't agree on anything. We're not fighting. Here's the orange. Can you solve the problem? Give him the orange. Mike grabs it. Cuts it in half. 50-50. Win-win. Right? Everybody happy? No. Right? It's an orange. Nobody's an orange. Everybody, they got angry, but now Mikey solved the problem. He says, listen, I'll cut it in half. You guys each get 50-50 of the orange, and now you're happy. The older brother goes home that day, scoops up the fruit, eats it, juices everywhere, the most succulent orange he's ever had, and throws the peel in the garbage. The younger brother goes home that day, peels the fruit, throws that in the garbage, but uses the peel to bake a cake. So all they had was a 50-50. They never got 100% interest because they were too stubborn to ask, why do you want, listen, it sounds to me, yes, you are the oldest. And I can see where you're coming from. And I want you to have that orange as much as I think, out of curiosity, why do you want that orange? I just want that orange. I want you, not to yell, I'm right here. But why? They just, listen, I want to make sure that both of us can come to an agreement. I just want to know, why is it so important for you to have that? Why? Ask it. And then you get to the deep-rooted why, which is he just wanted the fruit. And this guy wanted the peel. So they could have had 100% interest. So that's what I'm trying to say. And this make sure that you're not splitting the difference, because you might be leaving a lot of things on the table for either the buyer or the seller. Okay? Anybody get 39,000?
I was just gonna ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So at the start of our session today, you did like an offer where you did like 27,139.77 and that's purposely because you know that people will try to meet halfway, so you kind of gave an odd number.
I did that just because I want to know if the person is going to ask me why those important the numbers is relevant. So I can tell you from a personal experience, I had given a number to somebody, and my two numbers were $33,333, and my other number was 36,000. This was my proposal I had given somebody, right? And their proposal was 40K, and mine was, like I said, 33333 and 36. And he said, no, it's gotta be 40. Now, once that person asked me why this was important, now, sure, I'll comply with that. But now, set my next stage was now leaves me the door open for anything else that I want to do on my own. Like, meaning that I'll comply with this, and that's okay. But now, because you never asked me why, you've lost my respect. Because as a negotiator, this is the first question is, holy crap, 33333 and 36, sorry, actually this was, because I added to 9, 33300 and 3600. And I did that on purpose. In business, 9 is a number of commitment that I want to work with you, that I'm going to commit to you. Right? In numerology, that's what I was trying to do. That person never asked me why this number was relevant.
You could have given an answer.
Then I know, okay, you know what? Sure, I'll comply with this, but this person cares about me. This person, you know what? I'm going to work with this person. Maybe right now I'm going to settle this, but I'm always going to be committed to this person because they asked me why this was important to me. That's my interest. It wasn't the number. My interest is that I wanted him to ask me why this was important to me, and they never did. So in the future, that business could be, that relationship could be like this. Okay? And that's what you're constantly doing. Like, you're going to run into bully agents. I've run into an agent, and sorry to be a little sidetrack, I'm just going to give you some examples. I run into an agent where I know the guy was a cop. And cops, typically, and I know we have cops that are in our brokerage, but typically this cop was a competitor. He was a guy that needed to win. So all I did is I was hard on the lower number, right? Which is what happened in this scenario. I went hard on so the example was, I think they had the house at 6, this was in Milton, a semi, I think they had it at 649,900. And my guys would have paid this number. I offered 630. What's wrong with you? I'm like, no, listen, I don't know. He didn't ask me how I arrived at, 630. Listen, how did you guys arrive at that? Did you look at the, never asked me. He was just, all he did was protect his position. Well, you guys are crazy. We just came on the market. Did you look at the other listings? Like, all he's doing is, I'm being a bully. So what I said, well, give me a counter then. Let me work with a counter. Come back to 645. I come back with 636. He's like, oh, Emilio, like, I don't think we're gonna. I'm like, listen, I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? Like, my clients, I don't know. I don't think I can get them in the fourth. I'm sorry. Now I started, like you said, you start mimicking. So now I'm gonna start giving him a hard time. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. But I can't get the second number is not gonna be a 4. That second number we have to stay in the 3. No, but my client. Anyways, he goes, Emilio. He goes, I'll send you this. 642,500. You guys, I go, like, come on, man, what are you doing? I told you we can't come up to the 4s. I didn't say what. He said I can't come up to the 4s. It's like, I know, but we just came on the market. My client, it's, you know what? I go, all right, well, how much of a rope will you give me? Because how much do you need? I go, give me till, this was like early afternoon. I go, give me till midnight. Go back to my client. I present them this. Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you so much. They were willing to pay this. Now, to him, I took a knee. And I don't care that he thinks he got the better. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Because he called my best friend who's also a cop. And he said, hey, your buddy, negotiation guy, Harvard, buddy, I just destroyed him on the negotiation. He said he wouldn't come up to the fours. And I got him to take on my offer at 640. I mean, that guy wasted his money. By the way, when I got the first offer and I knew I was going to send it in, I called my friend. I said, hey, don't be surprised if you get a call that your buddy BB. He's like, what are you talking about? He goes, did you put the offer in? I said, not yet. So he goes, how do you know that's going to happen? I said, I guarantee you. And then he called me back. He's like, you bastard. How did you know? Because that guy was a competitor. You're going to get that. But this you can't do unless you prepare. Unless you, again, prepare, take notes. What am I doing well? What do I got to fix? How is my dialogue? From what I just said to you, what did you understand from that math? Out of curiosity, I just want to make sure we're on the same page, right? So if you're not, then you're constantly going to be battling because, again, what you said, what you meant, what they heard, what they understood, 4 different things. Okay. Anybody get in the 38s? Anybody get in the 30,000s? Question? You didn't get no. You have no agreement. No, you have no agreement. Anybody? Huh? 35? And how did we arrive at 35?
How? I didn't say.
Are you Parker or Gibson?
Parker.
So Parker's doing what right now? Parker is selling a piece of land.
Yeah.
Gibson wants to buy the piece of land. For those of you that were Gibson, how much money did you inherit? 40. How much were you willing to pay? 40. They were willing to pay 40, Gibson. They inherited 40, they're willing to pay 40. Okay, Parker. How much did you want to, like, now, I'm saying this about Gibson, right? So Parker's, how do you feel right now? If you knew that Gibson was willing to pay 40K.
Still good.
Okay, wait. Parker's, how much were you willing to sell that land for?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Right? Because you didn't want to do what? You didn't want to sell it to the other buyer.
Yes.
Gibson,
40.
how do you feel now that Parker's would have taken 15K?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
My Parker didn't sell just 15. She wanted 45.
Well, then she was, okay, does this happen in negotiation? Do you negotiate, does everybody negotiate in good faith? Right, but it's brilliant, but I'm glad that happened because now you, like I said, this is part of, these are case studies and I think we were talking with Jen and Jen, when I said to them, I said, introduce yourselves like you don't know each other. I understand it's a case study and yeah, sure, we're in a classroom, but treat it, right, like it's every day, like most athletes practice like it's like game 7, right? Because if you practice, when it comes to a situation like that, you're ready. You're like, oh shit, okay, I know what I'm gonna say. Hey, what about this? And did you know? And let's imagine, let's pretend. And no problem. I would, should I, isn't it? Aren't they? Be honest. What are the words? These guys, you got one of 2 choices. If you're anything like me, if you're like most people, this is dialogue that you guys should have. And you should be reading every goddamn day. Because then it sets up the situation so that you can use that dialogue to get more information and and when you meet each other, they're like, hey, how you doing? All right, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Pleasure. We've never done business before, have we?
Yeah.
No, okay, so and your clients, they really like the house?
Yes, yeah, they're there.
Perfect. And how much time did you spend in there?
Oh, they spend around 35 minutes.
35 minutes. Do they like the house?
Yeah.
So you just told me they like the house. I'm like, okay, now he likes the house. And all I asked was what? How much time did you spend there? Not rocket science. It's asking questions and listen. You got 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. Listen and then shut the front door. Right? Like just shut up and listen to what the other person's saying. 35. Anybody got it? Like we got 17.5 from people online. Anybody get less than 20? No? Less than 20? What you got?
He's 17 and a half.
So 17 and a half? And so you were Gibbs, no, Parker.
I was Parker, yeah.
Parker.
17,250.
17,250, okay? 18? 19? 20K? 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 20? 21. 20K, 21, how? Like, so right here, how do we get to 20K? Or 21? 20.
So basically, the first thing I discussed was, like you guys are interested in the past, I'm moving out of town, or out of state, retiring early, and I spoke to other neighbors, just wanted to reach out to you guys, whether you had the vested interest, let's see where you're at. And he's like, I'll discuss with my wife. And the first number I threw out was 25. And then he came back and he's like, no, then I had 21. And he's like, he came to 20 after that. But the biggest thing I focused on was, the past relationship. And, this is a great opportunity for you guys to, if you retire, you could turn, a garden, pick up other hobbies. And that's what was my main focus.
So you're putting it on on them, right?
Yeah.
Good. And how'd you guys get to 21?
Talking about many different factors, changing the market. We also put some pressure on them based on that it's a cash deal.
Okay.
And that we have some money up front that we have pretty quickly, and where both sides feel that we will be happy that we did something.
Both parties were happy, right? But again, knowing this and knowing this, does that change anything? Right? Keep that in mind. And I can tell you too, like there was even my email signature, I used to have like a Harvard stuff in there. I took it out because people were like thinking like all of a sudden everything is, I'm like, they're competing against me. I'm like, yeah, stop doing that. Like, and like they're thinking that they're getting themselves ahead, and they're like, I'm like, oh my god, like this is this or this is that. Oh my, like, so we took it out. And then I had a realtor. He did a deal last year, and he goes, we would have paid more money for that deal. And I think it was like an extra little bit money, right? Like 20K more. I'm like, well, we would have taken $100,000 less if you just given us a closing. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Right. So again, when you're negotiating, focus on the interests, right? Not yours, the client's. Try to ask questions so that you can see how invested and eager they are to get their deal together. I think a couple other things I just want to touch on is, I don't know if you guys read that part that there is no future business. If you guys read the on your sheets, it says, with the Parker's departure, there's no realistic prospect of future dealings. And I share this with you is because often, if I'm negotiating with you for the first time, and again, I make it about me versus you, and all I'm trying to do is win, am I gonna run into you again? Probably. The real estate market is small, like, especially if we work in the GTA. So always set, like, that's what I'm saying, you can't have a certain way of negotiating, and also don't be so confrontational and combative, because I'm gonna run into that person again. Doesn't mean I have to like concede everything and give them, the kitchen table and everything else and the kids and the wife, but set up your stage so that next time you deal with them, they're eager to work with you. So when they see your name, they're like, oh man, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be great. And the last thing I want to touch, two things, emotions. Really, there's one thing I can tell you to do is when you're negotiating or anything that you're going through personal, try to do this in the moment, or if you're one of those people that need a moment to calm down because you kind of get triggered, take a moment, go and write down what emotions are being triggered and write them down. And when you cool down, address them. Why did I get so angry when she said this to me? Why did I get angry when he said that to me? Right? And usually, females are a lot better at this than men are, is tones of voice. Right? Just the tone. Women are a little bit better than this than guys are. We're a little bit in our own little universe sometimes that we don't pick up on. But those little subtle things, you can hear something and be like, oh, that hurt, that offended me. Why? Write down those emotions. Learn to control your emotions so that you don't become reactive in a negotiation and jeopardize that deal for your client. And the last thing is the difference between determination and discipline. And I know they sound synonymous, they're not. You can be determined to do something, but if you don't have the discipline, you ain't gonna do shit. And in this business, you wanna do good for you, for your clients, and your family. So have the discipline, put in the processes and systems today, and constantly learn. Constantly look at ways of improving, document everything that you're doing right, document everything that you could improve on, and continuously, like I said, keep a journal. Keep a journal of things that you're doing so that you can better improve for tomorrow.
What is this discipline and what else?
Determination. You can have determination, but without discipline, you're gonna get easily distracted. Now, before I close it up, anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything that they've recently gone through or you've come across anything that you wanna maybe discuss right now that I can help you with collectively with the class or?
Yes, okay, as per,
Go ahead.
as per map, we are looking here. He got last 15 years, what's for basement rights, if someone is parking in front of that vacant land or the neighbor's property goes by, so the car park or it's also in the use of easement rights or not.
Yeah, but now all you were negotiating is just a piece of land, whether that was available to them. Like now you're asking me what's the easement? Is that what I'm understanding?
Neighbor is supposed parking cars in front of their porch.
So all it was, where's the, this is a picture of it, right?
Yeah.
So all you're negotiating is just that piece of land. Everything else is compliant. So that there's nothing else. All you say is that piece of land and then the numbers. That's all you're really negotiating. The background story that they give you is so that you have something to kind of construct some sort of argument. Okay? Yes.
So recently, last week, I purchased, my client's budget was $670 to buy a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom anywhere in Peel or Halton region. We were lucky enough to find 2-bed, 2-bath.
Okay.
Listed at $549.
Okay.
We offered $570. The deal is accepted but conditional.
Okay.
Now, I feel that my client is not happy with the deal because of price. He thinks, well, I gave him the comparables. Based on comparables, it could have sold between $585 to $600.
And were they holding off offers?
There was an offer, yeah. They had
Offered
an-
it?
Yes,
Okay. How many offers?
we were the only offer.
Okay.
There was gonna be another offer coming, it did not come. I waited.
I wonder if that ever happened. When another offer is gonna come and it doesn't come, okay. So 550 asking, you put it in for this much?
$570.
Okay, so here's out of curiosity, that house, out of 10 or out of 5, how much did they love that house or that condo?
8.
An 8. So they liked it, but weren't entirely in love with it.
Yes,
Okay. So now they've got a conditional for 570,
yes.
and he's thinking what? And you showed him the comparables.
We should have offered the asking price because we were the only offer.
Did you recommend that?
No. I went based on comparables as well as potential of renting it out. Now, even so, his budget was $670 and his mortgage, he said he can go up to $4,000, right? I just felt we had a great deal.
Okay. So it's a bit of a loaded because there's a lot of background context that needs to be had. So basically, let's say when you looked at this property and it was listed for this.
Yes.
So how much should we offer? When you looked at it, did they ask you that? How much should we offer on this property?
Yes, I told him.
Before you did your homework, right? You showed him the comparables after. But when you were
No, I
there,
had the comparables prior.
oh, you had the prior, okay.
Yes.
You had the comparables
I was looking at House Sigma. he's so into House Sigma. And I told him, leave AI, leave House Sigma aside.
But okay, one side note, what's wrong with House Sigma, by the way, their pricing?
Based on AI?
It says right on the House Sigma, it's beta. It's not accurate.
Yeah.
Beta. And that's, if you're getting, if when you're talking to people, I would be looking at that first just to tell them, look, other people may be doing this because they're looking at House Sigma, that's not accurate. What I'm gonna give you is accurate. Because if it's higher or lower, you're leaving money on the table. Because if House Sigma gives you a lower value, but I'm doing my comparables in a higher value, guess what? You're losing money. Right? So if you, like you said, no, House Sigma is saying this, I got the comparables.
House Sigma said he should have offered 552.
552. Okay.
I think 2%.
And because it doesn't take into the account the market change. Where's the property?
Burlington.
How much has the property gone up, or how much has prices for condos gone up from January till now? I don't know, I'm asking you. So that's what you gotta do. Again, prepare prior to. So if you know your comparables are this, pre-prepare, they're gonna look at House Sigma. So what do? Look at House Sigma. See what it's, so then see what it says and then go, look, I know the House Sigma before they even mention it. I know the House Sigma is gonna say this, but in looking at the last comparable, and this one was in January, and since January to now, the market is up 10%, we should be offering this. However, I don't want you to feel guilt or like you didn't get your bang for your buck. Let's wait until offer date and see how many offers get registered, because me giving you an amount now would be premature. Because then you might be bidding against yourself, which is probably what he's feeling.
Yes.
So then on offer day, just say, look, join us, was another offer. What do you want to do? Well, I really, this offer asking that. Do you feel comfortable? Yeah. So I'm asking. See when that guy sends it back, right? Because your guy submitted this and they accepted it. So he feels it's on the other guy's terms.
There's a lot of negotiations going back and forth.
But at the end, he feels like, who gave this number? Who was the last one that gave this number? Your guy or the other guy?
My God.
Your guy offered this number. Then he shouldn't have any regret. You're the one that offered that number. Right? But this is what you keep.
I think we should not believe on this, what it's called, the civil. So it's usually sometimes the average amount, the average house inside is interior is different than.
Well, like per square footage, layout, am I backing onto a ravine?
Too many things.
Okay, guys, general question, simple. If a house has a fireplace and the other one does not, what is the premium over this one? How much for a fireplace? OC.
Yeah.
5,000.
Yeah,
5,000.
Okay, one parking space, one garage parking space versus two. What is the premium of the difference? What's the difference?
Yeah, 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
That's how you do a CMA.
Yeah.
And that's what you gotta tell your clients. Again, let's not cut corners.
Yeah.
And listen, there's a reason why this company is doing this, because they're cutting corners. I'm not trying to cut corners. I'm trying to give you an assessment because I gotta come up with your background. With background.
Yeah.
And when I do my calculations, I'm taking into account square foot differences. I'm taking into account, is it a pie shaped? Am I backing onto a ravine? What's my frontage? Is there a fireplace? Is the basement finished? Is the basement finished with a bathroom? Is it finished with the bathroom and a separate entrance? Like, what are the mechanicals? All these things, right? Is there hardwood throughout? Is it laminate? Is it carpet? When was the roof? When was the furnace? Like if you're doing a showing, what do you guys do when you guys doing a showing? Right? Do you ever comment on how you feel about the house? Don't. I've seen a house that was shit. And I'm sorry, I have to say that with this, it was shit. I'm not a handy guy, and to me, it was garbage. My clients were like, oh my God. And they were like, let's just offer them full asset. I'm like, what? I didn't say, oh, the house is shit. No, they liked it. For them, it was great. And when you're doing your showings, they're looking at what? The space. Oh my God, we're gonna put our kids' TV here, and oh yeah, we're gonna paint little Stephanie's wall here pink. What are they looking at? All the features. What's your job? What's your job? To say, oh yeah, you look at the roof. Is there any leaks? What year are the mechanicals? Right? Oh, the furnace is original, 20 years. How do you know that? Look at the serial number. Take a picture of it. What year is the AC? Right? Is there any water leaks on the foundation? All these things play into account when you're gonna negotiate for your client to ensure that buyer's remorse doesn't happen. Right? Because guilt is a virus. And so is perfection. Okay? Don't try to be perfect. The enemy of progress is perfection. Make mistakes. Again, listen, and as long as you're doing the process in a negotiation, the majority of the time, the result will be there. Focus on the work, not the end result. When I did a mediation and dispute, that was one of the questions they asked one of the professors. How successful are you in these mediations? Would you say you win? He goes, not many, 10%. Because he's not looking at this end result. The process is there, and usually what happens is he will come back later. At the initial onset, they didn't mediate, they didn't come to an agreement, but it would happen later. Stop focusing on this. Work on this. Make sense? Any other scenarios anybody wants to?
It's not scenario. I want to have, would like to have a question. Actually, you said earlier that it happens to me also. It's practically when you are talking to the people, you are not analytical. You're one part of the brain closed. That's what you said.
Well, your voice, just the way your voice that what you hear.
Yeah, but sometimes when you are talking to the other people, you don't become so analytical. You don't have something coming into your mind. It just stops coming into your mind.
Right.
So, like this is a practical scenario. Sometimes you are blocked there, right? You cannot progress further. You cannot give some more, reasons, or more like things to move forward, like to protect yourself and your client. So how can
give me an example? Just gotta make sure I understand.
For example, I'm negotiating with one guy, right? I should have said, okay, yeah, the lot size is good, and we have the gazebo on the back, and we upgraded the AC, and we have upgraded the furnace, but I could not rightly said at that time.
Then you know what it is?
Preparation, yes, yeah.
Write it down.
Yeah.
So write down what you know, right? So usually, until you get to do it like without it, what you know. So what do we know? Lot size, price,
yeah,
closing. What do you know? What don't you know?
Yeah.
What don't you know? Then you put a question mark and go to this side. I gotta ask this, and I gotta ask that, and then are you gonna get all the answers? Because maybe even in this conversation, as much as you tried to prepare, again, you're not perfect.
Yeah.
So what you do is you'll be like, you know what? Let me put this together with my client and discuss it. And once we digest it, I'll get back to you if I have any other questions. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Good. Now you go back, before you go back to your client, look at it, digest it, see what information, intel you can share with your client, because you can be like that guy with the text, and you can be like, hey, that other guy says that this is the last offer, like there's no way in hell they're gonna come up any higher. Well, what do you mean? Oh no, forget it. Now I just, again, sharing that information and how I present it, I'm creating friction for him and coming back with something. So it all plays into preparation, taking notes, buy yourself some time, digest it, see how it looks like, and then go back either to that party or your client.
Another question, actually, that is different to this. Mike says, we were discussing on the showing how much interested they are. Mike Ferry says that when you are showing the property to the buyer, show him the property like you are presenting as a listing presentation. Like take with you the comparison. Okay, this house was this house was this. How do you suggest about that? What do you suggest about that?
Well, you want to, again, get them talking about the property. Can you guys see yourself living there? One word or two words that I always use, and there's no secret because I've said this before, is sacrifice versus compromise.
Okay.
Right? Hey, Mikey, if you're not having that ensuite, I know that you initially said you wanted to have 3 bathrooms, not including the basement. How much of a sacrifice or compromise is not having that ensuite? You mean, I got 2 teenage kids. I need that ensuite. So then I'm guessing this is a hard pass then, isn't it? Floyd, yes, okay, perfect. Right? So asking, when you're in that showing, you're not just, don't be like, like a butler. You're not there to like just open the door and like, hey guys, look, it's you
Yeah.
know, like ask questions. You see your stuff here. Is this, you know, we like it, you know what, I just want to get in the market and I just want to, you know, I just want to get in. I don't want to keep paying rent. Okay, so is this a 2-year, 3-year purchase? Is this a 10-year? You want to know that because then you're gonna know how hard you're gonna push them a little bit to get into that. You know what, guys, I know that, yeah, you're overpaying 5K. However, if we amortize it over the amount of time, and you did say 10 years you're looking at staying here, right? Yeah, okay, well, over those 10 years, guess what? Appreciation, your $5,000 will be nothing.
I taught them they're used to the ridiculous.
Right, to the daily, right? To the ridiculous. But these are questions you gotta, problem is nobody likes to ask questions. All you're trying to do is, you wanna put an offer in? Okay, and then you run back. That's good, I get it. You put an offer in, it gets accepted, you make money. But again, asking those questions, they're not getting that anywhere else. It's simple, like it's stupid simple, but nobody's doing it. Right? Cutting corners. Because I just want to do the bare minimum. Don't do that. Okay? Any other questions?
Yes, I did a commercial lease and it's firm. The realtor comes back saying that she wants to give possession a day or two after she's supposed to. So I'm just not sure what I should do. She's the one, the realtor is the one, she owns the place.
And why?
She can't get the neighbors to get the stuff inside. They're double booked or something.
So they're double booked and then, so what is she gonna do to
How
compensate?
can we help you?
How can-
We have movers that we could
I-
refer to you.
I can see what you're saying, I hear you. And, you know, I get that. Often you can't rely on movers, especially as it end of the month. Right, so I can, this month,
It's supposed to be Monday.
so Monday, so I can see where you're coming from because Easter, or not Easter, this Monday, that's next Monday. I can see that usually end of the month, there's this frustration. So how, you know, my client also had things scheduled. My client's gonna be looking for something to make that happen. Is there any way we can come up with an, you know, something together, brainstorm? And, you know, my client's gonna look for something. So we wanna make them happy, right? And that's another thing, like brainstorming, huh?
Look for something meaning compensation or look for a solution?
Solution.
Okay.
So how can we, my client's gonna be pretty upset that he can't move in, so I gotta come up with a solution. Any suggestions? Because in brainstorming, and usually, yeah, but yeah, I'm like, look, all I'm trying to do with you, right, is brainstorm. Johnny, all I'm trying to do with you is brainstorm. So in a brainstorm, there's no ownership, there's no right or wrong. My ideas aren't better than your ideas. It's a brainstorm. And then you make that clear, look, yeah, but look, I'm just trying to come up, I'm throwing stuff that may be ridiculous, and that's fine. You don't need to insult me or insult the idea. I'm just trying to brainstorm with it. That's all I'm trying to do. And then I got this last week with some other agent, and they were like, but you know, I'm busy and I'm just not gonna get to it till tomorrow. She doesn't have a learning disability. It sounds like it, but she does not. And I said to her, okay, I'm like, but your listing said this. Out of curiosity, why do you need more than the 24? Because I'm busy. I mean, I'm like, okay, well, I get it. We're all busy, but you being busy and not being able to manage your business is really none of my client's business. That's your time management problem, not
Raj,
mine.
don't make that.
That's a you problem.
I'm gonna say something.
So I had to tell her, I'm like, look, you're being combative. What do you mean I'm being combative? I'm not being, I'm like, oh, you're the one yelling. All I'm trying to do is let's work together. And be nice. Listen, just keep your cool. Don't get reactive. And then there will come a time where you will personally, independently, will say enough is enough. I'm walking out. And usually that happens in a listing presentation. You're gonna keep butting heads. There comes a point you just say, you know what? Clearly, we're not gonna come to an agreement. You see it your way, I see it my way. I enjoyed the juice. Thank you for the orange juice. I appreciate getting to know you and your family. I just don't think we're gonna be able to work together. And that's fine. You say your piece. Walk away. You don't need every deal. You're not gonna get every deal. Yes. And that's fine.
Before we end and before we thank him, I want to give you my analogy of negotiations. I'm going to use Amelia here as my partner. I've never done this with you, but I just want you to hear how I think of negotiations. I've shared the analogy, I think, with you, but we're gonna do a demonstration. I love that you used Andre Agassi and Boris Becker. They were two big tennis players back in the day. Everybody knows tennis, right? So pretend this is my side of the court, okay? And this is Emilio's side of the court. What's in the middle? It's a net. Okay. Say that's the net.
Don't touch my fingers. Confrontation.
Concession. Yield. Okay. In tennis, what am I serving? In negotiations, what am I serving? An offer. All right, so here you go. I just served him an offer. What's he gonna do with that? Well, he's got options.
Review.
He's got options.
What are my three options?
Let it go.
He's got options.
Accept, reject, counter.
Okay, so what's your choice?
What are we working with?
We're not gonna go into detail, but we're gonna go high level with this.
Hello, okay, well, you know what? I didn't like the way you tossed it over to me.
Love it. First lesson, never be the last person to hold the ball. Always throw it back. Okay,
Leave it in their court.
all right. I'm gonna take a couple steps forward, you take a couple steps forward. Because we were way in the back, right? I'm serving, I'm outside the court, boundary actually when I serve it, right? And where are you? You're outside the boundary of the court too, right? So I can either, in the negotiation, keep them at the back, you can keep me at the back, or we could kind of come closer. So you throw it back at me, I'm just gonna throw it back. Forget the details of the offer, okay? I've given it back to him. He has the choices again, right? We're gonna do a successful one though. So what are you gonna do with that? Gotta get back to me, right? Okay, so he's giving it back to me. Now we're closer. We're closer to where? Net, right? Give it back to you. We're right up here. And guess what? When we're at the net and the match is over, what do?
Shake hands.
Shake hands. It's really
Reaching an agreement. You're within.
tennis, right? You're back and forth. I've always had that analogy when I was negotiating. One, never be the one that keeps the offer and holds the ball. Always give it back. Even if it's moving $500 more back, get back there. You never want it to expire or die in your hands. And the goal is to get to the net and shake his hand, right? Doesn't have to be win-win, right? Yes, that's Stephen Covey. Love his stuff. That's one of his 7 habits of highly successful people. That was written in the 80s, right? So it doesn't have to be win-win. But we got to the net and we shook hands. And who wins in that scenario? His client, my client, him, me, the sponsors. The lawyer, the mortgage broker, the building inspector, right? All these people. So that's my analogy of how I look at negotiation. When Amelia did here today was off the charts exceptional, right? So I think you all need to give him a round of applause because been on a long journey, of all of 6 weeks. Remember from the very first class, the very first thing I asked you, what was the first thing I asked you? Why are you in the business? You all gave answers. So you got money is one, be your own boss, time management, you want vacations, you want a nice car, you want whatever it was, right? Those are your whys. You have to get up every morning with those things front and center because you're either going to be motivated to complete those tasks every day because your whys are so strong, or you're going to capitulate and give up, right? I was very impressed with this class. It was amazing to see the engagement, both from here and at home. So thank you for persevering. The fact that you made it to the very last session is a testament to your commitment in the business. I've trained literally, and I'm not exaggerating, tens of thousands of realtors with my career. Even when I was a realtor, like what he's doing now as a realtor, I used to do that as well. This is a good group, and I don't say that often, right? The group itself was powerful. So take what you've learned here today, the friendships that you've made, and grow and build upon that, because your business for your whys are easily obtained. All you have to do is just reach out and do it. Don't get frustrated. Do not hang out at the water cooler and pity party. Everybody knows what the pity party is, right? Oh, Emilio, the interest rates are so bad. I just can't get anybody to buy. When I started in 1994, full-time licensed in 92, interest rates were 12 and 13%.
Yeah.
What are they today? 5 or 6. Yeah. I remember renegotiating my mortgage one time at 9, and I thought I hit the lottery. I remember being in my course in 1992, taking mortgage financing, and I think I shared this with you. The book only went down to 8%. And I asked the question, why didn't it go down to 7 or 6? And everybody laughed at me. I was 22 years old. Oh, that kid's foolish. It's never going to go below that. I've got the book in my drawer. I pull it out.
Mortgage?
Huh?
Mortgage interest?
My mortgage table book, right? Now you guys all know.
Yeah, I've seen on the signature license.
It's a little blue book. I show it to people and I say, don't let something like that be the thing that holds you back. So you've learned a lot. I shared with you how many thoughts a day you have. How many thoughts a day do you have?
60,000.
50 to 60,000 thoughts. Most are routine thoughts, but those non-routine thoughts, 4,000 or 5,000 a day that you get. Most of us just don't even think too much of it. They're in and out. Today, you probably got 5,000 thoughts right from this guy, right? Learn from them, embrace them, because mindset is a critical thing for you. Psychology of how you conduct yourself every day is huge. Insulate yourself to negativity. And if you are struggling, come and talk to people. There's nothing better than having a second opinion, so long as it's from somebody that's not more messed up than you. All right, so you're out of the question. Okay. Listen, I enjoyed myself immensely teaching you guys. I think we've all learned, I've learned here. Yes, Emilio, you taught me a few good things today too. So, I was, and I want to personally thank you. We are friends. Yes, our business relationship here too, but we're personal friends, and he doesn't do this for anybody else. So I thank you for doing that for me, brother, honestly. And this guy here is open, available. I know some of you talk to him all the time anyways. He is busy, so don't.
And I do have a resting bitch face, so don't.
What?
A resting bitch face. I look angry. I'm not angry. Either we have stuff in the going, we're constantly just, so don't be shy. I'm not, like I said to you, there's no hierarchy here. We're all equal. We're all in the same business with the same intent, with the same purpose. So don't look at me as this person. No. If I look like I said, I'm angry. I'm not angry. Just ask me. Again, there's enough business for everybody. Enough business.
He's always a great help to us.
I'll tell you how successful I am when I retire. Until then, keep plugging away. Success, I don't measure on a day to day or year to year. I don't give a damn about that. I'll tell you in 20 years when I'm finally done.
Yeah. Now, the last thing we're going to do is you're going to look to somebody in the room, a friend of yours or whatever. So take a look at somebody. You can just look at them. And we're going to repeat one of my mantras that I do every day.
Come on.
Oh, look at Matt. Matt. You could be looking in the mirror.
Matthew, look at me. Eyes on me.
All right, ready? Repeat after me. I'm alive.
I'm alive.
I'm alive.
I'm awake.
And I feel great.
And I feel great.
And I feel great.
I'm alive. I'm awake. And I feel great. Support each other, help each other, and have fun. Have fun. I coached players that played in the NHL. I coached a kid that was the #1 draft pick in the NHL. There's only one of those a year. He was my client, and I coached him, Rick Nash. Okay. Yes, I'll share that with you. And he was my client too in real estate. You look at professional athletes, and when they're down, they never say that they're having fun. When they're up and they're winning, usually this winning makes them happy. They're so loose. They're like, oh, I'm having so much fun. The interviewer guy comes up, and the interviewer guy could ask him the worst, stupidest question in the world, but they're winning. They're happy. They're having fun.
Yeah.
You guys need to have fun in this business. This is a fun business. So get out of a funk if you're in a funk. Because if you are in a funk and you're not having fun, I'll tell you the person or persons that know that is those prospects and clients that you're working with. They'll smell it off you like that. Okay?
Just so you got a good book to read it, because I know we have some more books here.
Yeah.
So for those of you that didn't get a book, come pick up a book. if you want to pick up a book to what you just said, is The Roller Coaster Entrepreneur. Fantastic book, because in there they talk about is as Oprah only really likes 5% of what she does. The other 95% you're not gonna like, but that's part of the business. How many of you like doing admin work? Probably not, but you like making money doing a deal. So keep that in mind to Mike's point, and that's a really good book for you.
Roller coaster off.
Entrepreneur.
If you haven't in the room gotten the book, please get one. And at home, if you haven't, let Matt know.
I got it, yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. And
Thank you.
okay, did you say you want to say?